right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Market Close. It is Friday, February 7th, 3:46 p.m. We are officially done with the first week of trading in the month of February. And what a week it has been. Obviously, just a wild, crazy week in the world of Palantir. Palantir stock today reaching a new all-time high at $116. I don't know how to explain it. I don't think anyone knows how to explain it, but nonetheless, it did happen just a couple hours ago. I think we're now down back at 112, but still incredible day for the broader markets and for Palantir itself. Now, we have a ton of headlines that we have to get through in terms of stuff that has happened since the market open as we shape up to get into next week. I think overall, February has been incredible. We got non-farm payrolls this morning that were pretty strong. Palantir, as you can see right here, 112.45. Non-farm payrolls, we got the unemployment rate that came down to 4%. From 4.1%. And we also got the actual numbers at 143,000 versus 175,000, which was a little bit of a miss, but it's not too bad in regards to what the street wanted to see. Now, the revision we got was 307,000 versus 256,000 from December, which is a lot of jobs. And essentially what it indicates is that we are not getting a rate cut, I would say, till the earliest May, if that, because the labor market is fine. Now, the reason markets took a little bit of a dip around 11 a.m. was we got the University of Michigan consumer sentiment data, and that was the lowest since November 2023 in terms of the health of the consumer. I still think you have to weigh that against the actual earnings we got from the broader market, which have been pretty good. And even if, big tech has not been the best in terms of beating all the estimates, their stocks are trading at basically all-time highs. So at the end of the day, it's hard to ask for a ton of multiple expansion without a ton of growth, even though the growth is really strong. It's just, not the astronomical levels of growth that we saw in 2024. Overall, I think we're ending out the first week of February pretty strongly. I mean, nothing too crazy changed from January, and we continue to see more momentum in different names that find a way to get money allocated to them from other parts of the market. We're going to listen to what Tom Lee says. He was just on CNBC and get his take, but going around the horn right here, we got Grab up 2.53%, Palantir at 112. Tesla actually is down 3.5 today. I don't know what took Tesla down. I mean, my only guess would be Uber. Bill Ackman did buy 30 million shares of Uber, 30.3 million to be exact. He has 2.8 billion in the company, up 6.75%. Maybe Tesla's going down just because Uber went up, but Uber's green, Shopify's red, Cloudflare's up 17%, SMCI's up 6%, S&P 500 gonna look like it's going to close down red for the day. Kinder Morgan's up 1%. UiPath's down 2%. Nubank's down about 0.35. Oh, I did buy some Google. I bought 20 shares of Google today at 183. Bought 20 shares of Google at 183. Bought it on the dip. I'm long-term bullish Google. I think that the earnings reaction is not stupid. It's just, the stock was trading at all-time highs. It's selling off. It is what it is. So get a nice opportunity to get back in at 183 after selling my 50 shares at 196 on Sunday. Nvidia right here, 129, Netflix at 1,014, and then a hoodie did almost get to 56. We're at 55.45. Maybe we get that $56 close. We were at 55.98. Bitcoin, by the way, is tanking 95,000. I mean, not literally tanking, but it's down from 100,000 that it was at this morning. And Robinhood is still fine. So the fact that Bitcoin went down from 100 to 95 and Robinhood's actually up at 55.4, up 4% of the day, is really nice to see. And that is not too bad. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We are going to get started into a bunch of different stuff. Cash King says, yo, Mitt, I'm in Thailand right now watching your stream. Grab is everywhere here. They're becoming a big force inside of Southeast Asia. It's hard to deny them, and it's cool to see them on their journey, and hopefully they continue to get some more momentum. Here is Tom Lee today on CNBC, and then we will keep going from there.
The market took a little bit of a move lower on that as well, just given where rates are, concerns about the deficit, et cetera. Your thoughts on all three?
Well, it does seem like a pattern 2025 as markets sort of take a hit on Fridays and maybe panic Monday. So I don't know if that's going to be the case. To me, I think the inflation headlines from UMich they're not great to see, but also I think that they are messed, or there's a political component to this, because if you break that down between Democrats who see 5% inflation and Republicans at 0, the blend is actually pushing this number up. But to me, it just gets messy around elections.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. There are broad concerns about parts of this agenda from this White House, including, I might add, from the Fed, that it could be inflationary when rates are already more elevated than I think the Fed would like to see. They'd like to be able to cut more, but their hands are tied. And one of the reasons their hands are tied because of tariffs and unknowns about inflation. Fair?
That's fair. I'm not sure the UMich survey reflects their assessment necessarily of the tariffs as much as, let's say, the bond market. And the bond market seems less concerned about it because, as you know, yields have backed off from 4.8 towards 4.5. But you're right. Tariffs are a reason to be uncertain. But so far, I think if I looked at how markets reacted, I think they've actually taken them in stride.
I mean, your biggest takeaway thus far, you say, is that the market's proving resilient, which, I mean, let's be honest, too. Since the start of this bull market, it's been one heck of a resilient market. It's been able to deal with almost anything thrown in its face. You've had a couple of panic moments. Monday off of the tariff news, last August with the unwind of the carry trade, and then we just continue to set new highs.
That's right. And I think in 2025, a lot of investors thought maybe the playbook would change because we just put 20% years behind us. But I think with January being up 2.7%, and I think these sell-offs being bought, it does feel like the same market that we had last year.
What are you worried about?
Now that's a really good point for a second, because, you know, he's correct. Investors felt after 20% back-to-back years, 2023 and 2024, that we would have some pain in 2025, at least in the beginning, in terms of like, hey, every dip's not going to get bought. But every dip's getting bought. I mean, every single dip is getting bought. And I think the reason for that is because the macro data is strong enough, earnings data is strong enough that there's nowhere else to put your money, right? Maybe some treasuries, maybe money market funds. But because the dip is getting bought, it really does feel a lot like 2024.
Well, I'm worried about sentiment becoming too bullish, but actually But it's turned the other way. You know, sentiment actually has weakened pretty meaningfully. And I'd worry about a policy error from the Fed. And as you know, the bond market still thinks there's more than a 20% chance the Fed hikes this year. I think it would be obviously a policy error if they raise rates.
What about a policy error from the White House?
That's also something markets worry about, yes. But so far, I would say that the news that we've seen on tariffs, they've had more bark than bite, meaning they've proven to be opportunities for investors to buy.
What would you buy?
Well, the big news this week in our minds is the ISM moved back above 50. That really does point to earnings dispersion improving. So I like industrials, you know, the financials. I mean, the small caps, which have been, you know, not a great outperformer yet, but we still think small caps are going to do well this year.
And what happens if some of the uncertainty around DC and policy has a more negative impact on not only sentiment, but actual transactions? I saw a stat today that M&A is off to an incredibly slow start this year, when part of the narrative coming into this year was animal spirits. Can't tell you how many times I heard that phrase over the last 3, 4, 5 months.
Yeah.
What if we don't get that?
I mean, it's still too early, right? Because we're only 1 month into the year. The recovery in optimism, both in the NFIB and even the ISMs, I do think it would sort of argue CEO confidence should be better. So I would expect M&A.
We had all but one of the mega caps report. We got to wait a couple more weeks for NVIDIA. What's your takeaway?
Well, it's been a good earnings season so far. The Mag 7 as a group hasn't been great. You know, in fact, they've been a drag on the S&P this year. So part of it is it's telling me I think a lot of good news is baked into some of these names, and especially with CapEx going up. But it doesn't mean I don't think they're market performers. I just think the outperformance this year comes from financials, small caps, industrial.
Canaccord Genuity today on the Mag 7. We think it's fair to say this has been the softest quarter for this group collectively in the last few years. Is that a meaningful softness, that maybe the best times for a while are behind it?
Well, and that's a relative term, right? Because on an absolute basis, these companies are growing far faster than the S&P. But from a, you know, what's priced into the stocks, clearly it wasn't a market surprise. That's why year to date they haven't been great.
What about you're paying up, you know, in some respects for declining revenue growth, especially in key areas like cloud, for some of these players where that's an essential part of why you were willing to pay up in the first place? That matter?
Well, you know, these are secular stories. So to me, you know, stocks might actually underreact to earnings and they might overreact to earnings over time. And, you know, they may consolidate for several years. But to me, the key drivers for why you want to own the Mag 7 haven't changed.
Seems like.
And I think Tom's right about that, right? A lot of these stocks were just trading at extremely, not even high multiples, but just high stock prices relative to the expectations for growth. And that's why we saw Amazon and Google take a little bit of a dip. But overall, still incredible companies. Palantir right here, giving up pretty much all the gains it had today as we get 4 minutes into the close, 111.42. At one point, we did get to 116.30, looking like it might go red into the close. We'll see. It's hovering above green right here. So we got 4 minutes left. Grab's up 2.4, Uber's up 6. Robinhood, it looks like it's going to get a 55.50 close, which would be exceptional for Robinhood, getting above that $55 mark. Cloudflare's up 17%. You got Palantir again, 111. Tesla, 361, down about 3.34. Their Chinese registration numbers did come in a lower 11% year over year. Maybe that's contributing to it. But I think more so it's just people getting a little nervous about holding Tesla without seeing a lot of the results from FSD or robotics yet. SMCI right here up 7.2%. We did get an update from Trump today as well, who spoke with the Japanese prime minister. And in that press conference, he did say that he wants Elon and Doge to look into spending budgets for the Department of Education and Pentagon. He says we're talking about trillions of dollars being wasted. We've already found tremendous corruption. Now, why is this relevant, even if you don't care about Elon or Trump? It's relevant because the 10-year is paying a lot of attention to what Trump is saying about government spending. And they're paying a lot of attention to what Elon's doing. And one of the arguments for why the 10-year, which is still below 4.5%, this thing was 4.8% back in early January. One of the reasons that the 10-year could come down to the low fours, maybe even below 4 somehow, is if the bond market feels the government is legitimately going to cut billions and billions of dollars of spending, because at that point, that would be a hedge against some of the inflation warnings that the 10-year has been selling, or that the 10-year has been selling off on, which has caused bond yields to go higher. So from that perspective, if Trump is serious that they're going to redo how they audit the Pentagon or the Department of Education and maybe cut costs in certain areas, again, we could see the bond market reacting to that, and that could be potentially positive for equities. NVIDIA right here, 129.90. We got 2 minutes left. Let's see if we can get a close into the 130s, which would be exceptional for this Friday. Palantir is red, 110.84, looking like it's getting sold off into the close. NVIDIA, to get to 130, it has 774,000 shares that someone needs to buy in the next 90 seconds, which is probably going to be a little tough, but nonetheless, we got 90 seconds to see if that happens. You got BlackBerry up 1.74%, AMD down again, 2.3%, cannot catch a bid at all. SMCI again up 7%, Robinhood 55.81, Uber up 6, Airbnb up 2, and then Tesla is down 3.4%. Palantir is going red as we get into the close. So not a bad week. Not a bad week. I mean, I know Palantir's red right here, but it's kind of hard to complain given the week that we had. Overall, just been a pretty nice week across the board. Thoughts on Reddit? I mean, I have to be long Reddit till 2027 because I got a covered call on this thing till 300. I don't know, dude. I don't think Reddit's necessarily. I don't understand the valuation on Reddit, but then again, I think people are buying it for other reasons. It's hitting a new all-time high today. So I bought my shares at 164, got 100 of them. I'm holding them. Earnings, we'll see if this thing can actually hold on to these numbers. And I have a feeling they're going to be profitable. They're going to show growth, and Street's going to like it. So there is a world in which Reddit can potentially maintain these levels. But if it doesn't, I would be happy to buy that dip and just sell calls against it since the call premiums are so good on Reddit. You got 2 cents on NVIDIA. Wow, 130. They took out the wall. Wow, that is incredible. Right at the very end. It's not going to close at 1:30, but it touched 1:30. There you go. 4 p.m. Friday, February 7th. Thank you, everybody, for being here. The stock market is now closed. Right, literally within milliseconds, it took out the 300,000 shares sitting at 130, and then there was too much selling right there, and that's how NVIDIA closed at 129.91. Not bad. Not bad at all for NVIDIA. Hoodie closes at 55.91. Just an exceptional performance by Robinhood this week. This week, Hood is up 15.7%. Year to date, it's up 41%. Robinhood, wow, 41% for the year on Hood. Grab, nice 2.5% day. PayPal's down 1.6%. Again, NVIDIA 129.91, Reddit 225. Uber was a big winner today. Bill Ackman bought 30 million shares, up 6.59%. Palantir ends red on the day, 110.85. I don't think we can complain too much about it, but it was at 116 at one point today. down about 0.39%. So you got a ton of selling pressure right into the close. Shopify was down about 1%. S&P 500 was down 1%. The Qs were probably down. The Qs were down 1.26%. Tesla was not able to hold on. 361.62, down 3.39% in the day. Again, I don't really know why Tesla's down. Maybe it's the Germany numbers, the China numbers. I don't think there's any headline around Elon, or it could have just been algos bidding up Uber and taking down Tesla. And that might be one of the things that we're seeing right here. Big Bear AI was also up 27%. Great day for them. Chipotle was down 0.04. ARM down 3%. Next Decade was down 1.65%. Disney was down about 1.09%. Let's go to the semis and see how they did. All the semis were pretty much red. I mean, NVIDIA was green, AMD was red, SMCI was green, Intel was red, ON was red, ASML was red, Broadcom was red about 3%, Qualcomm down, TSM was down. Really, NVIDIA was the only one catching a bid today, along with SMCI. Micron was down, Dell was slightly up, Lam Research was down, and then ARM was down about 3% right here on the day. So there you go. Well, let me look at crypto. I think Bitcoin did kind of not do the best. Coinbase was up 1.42. CleanSpark was actually up 9%. So great for CleanSpark. Bitcoin right here, 96. Ethereum, 2,600. Again, Robinhood, 55.86. Incredible by Hood. And then you had MicroStrategy right here, 327. That was up 0.64%. Riot was also up 0.26% as well. That's the end of the week. That's the end of the week. Put in the chat what you bought or sold this week. Let's go around and see what people bought and sold. I bought more Hood this week. I finished the NVIDIA position this week. I finished the Grab position this week. I bought some shares of Google this week. And I bought some shares of Tesla this week. And I bought 10 shares of Palantir. But outside of that, and I closed a bunch of covered calls. But that was the end to my week. Let's see what we have here. Edmund bought Tesla and NVIDIA. Vadim bought more CleanSpark. Jonathan bought more Tesla. David bought Tesla. Imperium bought Hershey's and Hood. Hershey's, Hershey's. Did we look at Hershey's this week? They had earnings. Were they up this week? Hershey's, was up kind of this week. I mean, it pumped since February 5th at 130 to 154. So it's been having a decent type of run. I do have Rocket Lab, Jason. Only 100 shares, not a ton of them. But I do have some Rocket Lab. Jasmine brought some Grab. We got Miguel bought AMD, Nike, and NVIDIA. Dude, Nike's freaking Citibank just nuked Nike. I mean, I don't know if Bill Ackman sold out of them, but down 4.25%. We definitely got some red right here on Nike. Michael bought some Reddit. Anton bought his first 50 shares of Hood. I love it. Digger bought more Archer and Grab. That's great. Lang bought some Hood. Eugen bought some Hood and Coin. Bay Lucy bought NVIDIA at 113. I joined you there. I should have dumped the rest of my position to get in at 113, but we got those 10 shares at 113.75. Donovan bought some Exxon. Jordy bought 3 more NVIDIA calls. We got some lifts in the chat. SMCIs, Nebis, Tesla. Yeah, pretty much the usual candidates. Edwin said he sold Costco and made 7,000. Okay, there you go. Costco as well. I mean, what a performance this week by Costco, closing above $1,000. Netflix joins it as well. I would imagine Costco and Netflix are thinking of those stock splits. Maybe we get them, maybe we don't. Pretty soon Meta is going to be after thinking of those stock splits as well. By the way, Meta 714 close. Incredible. 725 was the high on the day. 725 was the high on the day. It's been a good week. I mean, obviously Palantir carried a lot of portfolios this week, and just, it was pretty exceptional to see how they performed. But in general, dude, February was good. Earnings were good. S&P 500 companies are beating. Non-farm payrolls today were good. Inflation metrics are good. Maybe the Michigan consumer data was not the best, but depends on how much that actually matters long-term in terms of how the market perceives the consumer, or if the consumer is actually spending or not. We got some new buys from Uber for Bill Ackman. He's taking stakes in there. I mean, you got more and more excitement across the market in a variety of different industries and verticals. And we're not seeing the type of pain I think people expected as soon as we ended 2024, entering into a year that would be a little bit more choppy because of the back-to-back bull market that we saw in 2023, 2024. Now, that could happen. We're only a month and a half into the 2025, but so far, based on the data, it's been okay. It's really been strong so far. Obviously, we do have a ton of more months, and we got to deal with a lot more stuff. Now, Trump did say some stuff about tariffs today. Are we going to get more tariffs? I don't know. But he did say by next week he's going to start retaliating and start putting tariffs on more countries. So maybe on Sunday he starts tweeting out some stuff about tariffs. One thing he did say as well is that he is banning the federal push for paper straws, which honestly, I think it's the best thing he's done so far, because paper straws are a travesty to humanity. So I do agree with him. I hope he does an executive order or something about that. But outside of that, no other crazy tariff news today. Maybe on Sunday night, we'll see if we get some more stuff. Here's an update by Cameron Dawson on what she thinks is going on in the market, and then we'll keep going from there. Is this playing? Hold on. This is not playing. There we go. Okay, now this is playing. Here we go.
One another.
As for the mag.
This market is very different than last year's market, mostly because of the starting point of where valuations are, the starting point of where positioning is, and the fact that you were seeing much more dispersion under the surface and different leadership. I think it's important to note that tech has been effectively flat for the last 4 months. It's been on the road to nowhere, and that you have seen things like financials start to take on greater leadership. But at the end of the day, we do think tech still has to play ball for the market to continuously make new highs, simply because it's such a big part of the index. So there's a lot of shifting sands, a lot of trend under the surface. And at the end of the day, we've also seen fading momentum on the index level, which just says to us this sideways chop could continue, at least in the near term.
Let's hit tech first, since you went there. I mean, it is worth noting, too, it is the only sector over the last 1 month that is in the red. You really need to continue to get a pickup from these other areas of the market. That's why the market sputtered a little bit, right? Tech is flat, and you just haven't had enough buy-in to get that next leg.
And I think the challenge is tech is also the most crowded of the sectors. If you look at those Deutsche Bank sector flows, tech has been the only sector over the last 2 years that has had net new money flow in. You've seen a little bit come into financials over the last few months since the election. So it's a good argument or a good question of, is this market offsides in the fact that it's not prepared for a leadership rotation away from tech, which could suggest that maybe there's some more pain in that churn.
I mean, it's why equal weight S&P is ahead of the S&P year to date.
Yeah.
Right, because these areas other than the mega caps have performed better than those stocks. So what do you make of that? The fact that the tech is the only negative sector over the last month.
Well, I think again it sort of speaks to market resilience, because tech's the biggest sector. It's down 10%. A lot of folks would say that would take the tape down, and instead we're up 3% for January. And if tech underperforms this year, I'd actually still think it doesn't make a difference. The S&P would still be up more than 10%.
One of the best stats, I think, for the bulls, was towards the argument, Cam, of, well, you can't get any more multiple expansion in this market, right? You're at 22 times. You better have earnings growth that lives up to the hype.
Yeah.
And it appears that it is. I mean, you're 2/3 of the way through earnings season thus far, and we have 15% earnings growth. That is the strongest in 3 quarters. That was at the high side of expectations. That's where you really need to see the proof in the pudding of what's happening in this market.
And the fourth quarter has shown this dynamic of broadening out, and that is expected to continue in 2025. If you look at consensus, 2025 has that equal weight going from 1% growth last year up to 11%. So there is an implicit broadening out that's already baked into consensus numbers. But watch one thing. Yes, fourth quarter earnings came in better than expected, but we've actually seen slight estimate cuts to 2025 and 2026 numbers over the last 2 weeks. It's very slight. It's 1%. So it's nothing to say run for the hills, but watch those estimate revisions, because we think the most important thing for this market is that 12-month forward earnings estimates continue to rise. That has been the underpinning of this rally for the last 2 years. So it is a true imperative that you see that 12-month forward continue to climb.
How do we feel about earnings? That stat that I just told you, right? You really do believe that you need earnings to remain at least this strong, correct?
Yeah. The ISM turning above 50. It's been below 50 for 26 months, the longest stretch since the ISM was created. That leads earnings growth by 4 months. So it's particularly bullish for what I call mid-cap and small-cap earnings. So I think you're going to get the earnings delivery this year. And it's maybe not just the U.S. Year to date, Germany's outperforming significantly. I mean, Europe looks like it's going to have a great year. So I think that there's plenty of places to find opportunity.
You want to talk mid-cap, small-cap, right?
All right, so that's pretty much what we got from Tom Lee and Cameron Dawson. I think the analyst community is trying to tell their clients that a rotation is still possible. Where's IWM? IWM's at 225 year to date. Small caps, which again, most of the analyst community is on board with. Yeah, small caps are up 2.2% year to date. It still kind of does feel like a stock picker's market. I mean, if you picked Hood, if you picked Uber, if you picked Hims, if you picked Palantir in the beginning of the year, even with some of those stocks already trading pretty nicely since the 2024 run that they had, you've done very well. If you picked IWM or if you picked the Qs or just the S&P, you haven't, right? So the rotation thesis probably needs some more time to play out. Again, Google and Amazon taking a bit of a dip is helping the rotation thesis. But to be honest, a lot of that money that left Google or just rotated, I mean, theoretically, it went into a Robinhood, a Palantir, a Hims, etc. It didn't really rotate into aggregate indices like small caps in general. So I think it still has been a stock picker's market, even if you've been bullish on mid caps or small caps. I mean, something like Big Bear AI, which I think benefited a lot from a squeeze this week. Even that has been able to get more of a rotation than IWM in general. SoFi, yeah, SoFi, I don't know what's going on with SoFi right here. It is down. Was it down for the day? Or was it green? It was green for the day, 0.74%, still ended below 15, which is not that nice to see closing below 15, but at least it wasn't in the 1450s. I don't know. I don't know about SoFi. I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of just in its own zone, and I guess it's going to need earnings catalyst to continue doing better. Year to date, SoFi is now up 5.52%. Over the past year, SoFi is up 94%. But I think the narrative on SoFi is just going to need better earnings growth or potentially more tech platform growth to see some more momentum there. Noto is going to be at some conference, I think, next week. So he'll be talking more, and we'll see if he says anything that is different than what we've already known. If you've been in the semi so far this year, you've done kind of okay based on the semi you've been in. Obviously, if you've been in NVIDIA at the beginning of the year, hasn't done too well. If you sniped in at the bottom, 113 to around 20, you've done pretty okay. Now that we're at 129.84, SMCI really was just about timing. And if you got in last week after NVIDIA fell, that's been very well. If you got in a little bit earlier, you're probably breaking even. That's up 7.21%. Someone asked my thoughts about Duolingo. I like this company a lot. I think that they're a phenomenal product, and their growth is like 60% year over year, just exceptional growth. Year to date, these guys are up, 20%. Didn't even see that. Over the past year, they're up 115%. I've never known how to value Duolingo, but I do think they are a company that is at the cutting edge of actually being able to create user engagement products that work and convert either on ads or subscriptions. And people use it. I mean, put in the chat if you use Duolingo to learn a new language. I don't really speak another language, so I have never used Duolingo, but it is the modern day version of how people actually learn stuff. I wouldn't go long at these levels. I would have to go a bit deeper at looking at the metrics here. 25 times price of sales seems kind of expensive, but then again, their growth is like really good growth. I mean, we're talking about like 40% top line revenue growth, 60% daily active user growth. So Duolingo definitely is in that world of actually showing growth. It's annoying. I hate that owl. I'm using it for Italian. My trip is in June. For travel, me and my family use Duolingo. All right, seems like yeah. It's it would make sense that people use it because obviously the thing has tons and tons of daily active users. So people definitely use the product. It reminds me of Spotify, to be honest. And the founder is actually pretty incredible. The founder sold his company to Google. The founder of Duolingo is the founder of DoubleClick, who sold it to Google. By the way, we got Joe Lonsdale on CNBC right now talking about Palantir. Let's transition to that and see what he's got to say. And then we'll keep going through some of the other headlines that we have.
Now on this and so much more, Joe Lonsdale, 8VC managing partner and a Palantir co-founder. Joe, it's great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thanks, Morgan.
So I am going to start right there because Palantir certainly seems to be, and we saw this in earnings on Monday, providing in real time the use case for how AI is changing business structures as well as the battlefield. And I just do want to get your thoughts on where we are in the cycle of AI investing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Palantir, it turns out, solves some really hard problems that are really valuable for AI, right? It turns out right now it's the big theme for a lot of things we're doing in every industry. And if you actually organize the data and organize workflows into ontologies, you could then extrapolate on top of that. And with Palantir is, I think, surprising all of us just how fast it's growing, how much value it's creating. It's actually kind of fun. Some of our early teams I used to know there from 15 years ago, you know, they celebrate every time it goes up 1 point with a drink with each other. They've had a tough couple of weeks. It's gone way up.
I mean, and Palantir, and I would also argue SpaceX have really forged the way for this idea of disruption in defense. And now you're seeing it increasingly with other names in the startup ecosystem, including Anduril Industries, which I just reported before the break is raising another funding round to the tune of $2.5 billion, which would double its value.
Oh, wow. Did you guys hear that? Anduril's raising a round? 2.5 billion? Huh. Okay, we'll keep listening to this. Let me get some updates on that. But that means they would be worth close to 30, 35 billion.
Valuation. Want to get your thoughts on that?
Listen, I mean, Palantir and SpaceX led the way for the new wave of defense and DoD companies. Anduril is the fastest growing thing we've ever seen now in the space. You know, Anduril was founded by 3 guys who were stars of Palantir alongside Palmer Luckey. So it's a lot of Palantir DNA in that company. I've been invested in every round since the very beginning. This is the fastest growing thing we've seen. They're not giving out numbers, so I don't want to get in trouble saying them, but it's amazing how well they're doing. It's amazing how well they're running circles around a lot of the legacy defense primes by providing solutions to the government that are much, much cheaper and much, much better. And, you know, thanks, I think, to a lot of the shifts you've seen in the last 20 years that really Palantir and SpaceX kicked off, we are seeing a lot more fair competitions where the DoD is saying, what's the best solution here? Rather than running this just for an old prime to automatically get it, let's let people compete. And you're seeing Anduril lead the way with a bunch of other new ones coming up like Epirus and Saronic as well that are starting to really break in and build some great companies. And I think Anduril is going to be one of the biggest defense companies in the world. And you know, it's, you know, $28 billion pre, I guess it leaked out that it's happening right here. We're investing again. I think it's going to be a lot bigger still.
How do you think companies like this are poised to perhaps drive more business from this administration at a time where Doge is going in and Elon Musk is going in and sort of taking that Silicon Valley ethos of moving fast and breaking things?
Well, listen, I'm, as you know, a huge fan of Doge. I have a lot of friends involved in Doge and have been doing my best to help them. There's so much waste in government. There's so much to cut. Companies like Palantir and Anduril actually do better when you cut the waste, because what happens is that if you are forced to use your money more efficiently, if you are forced to say, we're going to have to do this twice as efficiently, 10 times as efficiently, that's when Palantir and Anduril win. Like, you literally have things they're deploying that are a tenth the cost that are better. And so if in this new administration, by the way, you know, Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of Defense, he's very clear. He wants to have competition. He wants the best ideas too, and he wants I don't think he's not going to favor new things versus legacy companies. He's going to favor whatever the best solution is. And that means companies like Anduril and like Palantir are going to keep growing really fast. It means you're going to cut a lot of other nonsense that's really crony and shouldn't be there.
You published what I'll call a manifesto a little less than 2 weeks ago about some of the reforms that could take place in the Pentagon. Is this a key moment, whether it's the Pentagon, whether it's Medicaid and Medicare, since I know you also invest in healthcare? When you look across some of these big spenders within government, is this a moment where real change can actually happen? And if so, what is it going to take to get there, especially given the fact that there's a lot of politicization right now? You're already seeing the lawsuits come out as changes are being enacted very quickly. What does it take to get there?
You know, Morgan, I was in D.C. briefly this week and meeting with a lot of senators as well as our friends in the White House, meeting with a lot of staffers on the Hill who are trying to work on this. And this bipartisan staffers agree, like, the DoD, the way procurement works right now is broken. It's not getting the best answers. It's a bureaucratic mess. I mean, the famous Colt 1911, before World War I, we needed better pistols in the jungles in the Philippines, as we wrote about. And rather than give 300 pages of specifications, they said, here's what we need, common sense. Now let's test out. 6 companies applied. They had contests. They chose the most reliable gun. It took a few months. It was very fast. It was very efficient, and they bought tons of them. We tried to do a new pistol over 10 years ago. We had several hundred pages of nonsense of bureaucrats trying to over-define things rather than saying what the outcome they wanted was. I think we still haven't gotten a good pistol out of it. The whole thing's a giant mess. You don't need hordes, like we call it, you know, we should be the arsenal of democracy, not the arsenal of bureaucracy. And I think everyone knows this, and we have to be bold at getting to where we need to be and rewarding people who win the competitions and driving solutions based on outcomes, not based on top-down specifications.
Joe Lonsdale, great to have you on. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
So that's Palantir co-founder Lonsdale basically explaining that we are heading into a essentially golden 4 years for defense, and Anduril and Palantir are going to be big beneficiaries of it. Now, in terms of the new Anduril funding round, I can't find any coverage that they're raising another $2.5 billion. I guess CNBC reported that, so it's their reporting, but I don't see any external sources saying that that's a thing. If that's the case, their previous valuation was $15 billion. That means they'd be worth $30 billion, which means they're probably looking at like a 45 minimum billion IPO, or at least 40 billion IPO when they go public. So I would imagine they go public by latest mid 2026. I mean, probably end of 2025 is not out of the question given how fast they're growing. And also you need liquidity to go public, and there's tons of liquidity right now in the system. But that's going to be a big IPO, and you're going to get a lot of people that get excited for something like an Anduril as well. Okay, cool. So that's what we got from Lonsdale here right now. PayPal is down about 1.6%. Airbnb is up 1.82. Robinhood 55.86, ended up 5.06% of the day. Nvidia 129, and then Palantir is at 110.85. Gave up most of its gains throughout the day. Currently right here down about 0.39%. Cool stuff. Cool stuff throughout the week, dude. It's been a hell of a week. It has been a crazy week. I mean, when are you going to cover Nebis? So I started actually looking into them yesterday. I've not really done any serious due diligence, but I at least learned kind of like what the point of the company is and why they're so crucial in the semiconductor space. Hopefully over the coming weeks, I can do some more due diligence on them. I don't think I'm going to take a position just because, I don't know, I don't feel like concentrating into a position like that, but I'm learning more about them, trying to get a better understanding of them. And, there's not that many analysts on the street talking about it either. It's like 2 or 3 analysts really that cover the stock. So it's getting more attention. It was up 10% today. I don't know why it was up 10%, but it was up 10%. But it does look like people are seeing this as a more undervalued semiconductor play that can benefit from NVIDIA. What do you think about DraftKings? I like DraftKings and their growth. I don't have a position in them. DKNG 42.28. The stock's been kind of flat, though, over the past year. They had some harsh regulations in Illinois that affected them from a gambling perspective. It's up 16% year to date. Over the past 1 year, it's literally flat, down 0.75%. I don't know. I like them. I think they're cool. They grow fast. I think they are now officially profitable or very close to profitable. But it's not something super exciting in terms of like a long-term vision, for like what the company could be outside of just more people gamble. So it's never been something that I get super excited to get into. Illinois, because the S is silent. Of course I said the S. Of course. Of course. If anyone was going to say Illinois wrong, if anyone was going to say it wrong, it's me. It would be me. Of course. So it's Illinois. Not Illinois. Dude, that was such a rookie mistake. Like, I could have at least got that right. I could have at least not said Illinois. I could have not said that. But why? But then I wouldn't be me. Of course, I wouldn't be me. Amit, would you buy Anduril? Probably. I mean, again, it would. I don't know what the valuation would look like. I think I would buy just on the growth, because from my understanding, they're growing faster than Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, all of them combined. I mean, like, they're just like they're killing everybody when it comes to the rate of contracts they're getting. I've always been skeptical about Anduril's ability to have a commercial business, which makes me think you're literally just buying a defense contractor. That's not a bad thing, but it'd be nice to have a little bit of a commercial element to the business. Overall, I think I would buy it, yeah, because Palmer Luckey's a rock star. They're not slowing down, and if it is going to be the next 4 years where defense spending goes up, in particular for companies that can actually get shit done, because Elon's there. And speaking of Elon, here's the cover of Time magazine that I literally just see as I open up Twitter. There you go. Time magazine puts him basically in the Oval Office. But if the government spending, I think a lot of that money is going to go to Anduril and Palantir. And if they're going to be winning contracts, then even if you buy them purely for the defense business, not just the commercial business, there's definitely a moat I think you could use to justify buying Anduril. Wow, what a cover, huh? What a freaking cover from Time magazine. There you go. When are you going to send the Palo Alto details? Tomorrow. So for those that did not get it yet, let me again put it in the chat. You'll get a Telegram group tomorrow, and then probably on Monday you'll get the like actual details of the location and all that stuff. But if you have not joined the Telegram or not joined the forum, you can sign up right here and then come through. Next week's gonna be fun, dude. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different things we have to do. I think you guys will enjoy some of the content there, and it'll be a fun week in February on the West Coast. Time is owned by the Salesforce CEO, correct? Mark Benioff bought it for 190 million back in 2018. So he bought this a while ago. So yeah, Benioff has been on the chair of the board of Time for a very long time. When are you coming to Japan? Hopefully one day, dude. Japan is so cool. Japan, you know one type of video that I've been watching on YouTube, like it just pops up in the feed, is these like Japanese cakes. Have you guys seen these cakes? They're like these like I don't even know how to describe them. They're like these cakes, and these like I came across these shorts on YouTube where they're making the cake, and it's like, I don't even know, it's like a fluffy cake or something. And it's like every time it pops up, I just have to watch it, even if it's like 30 seconds of the exact same process of them making the cake. I need to see them make the cake. It's like incredible. No, it's not a cheesecake, bro. Hold on, let me show you guys. I'm not gonna play the music though, because every time you play, there's like copyrighted songs there, but it's this Japanese cake, and it's uniquely, here it is. It's uniquely in Japan. It's unique. It's one of those cakes, but it's a solid cake. Okay, here it is. This pops up on your feed. It's hard to stop watching this thing. Look at this cake, bro. Look at this cake. This cake is wild. Like every time I see this, I'm just like, I have to stop and I have to watch it. This is not a cheesecake. I don't think it's a cheesecake. Wait, they sell that in Chinatown? All right, maybe I don't have to go to Japan to get these. Well, look at these cakes, bro. These are dope. It's a jiggle. That's the word I was looking for. Jiggle. I was looking for a word. It's not fluffy. It's a jiggling cake. It's a jiggling cake. I want to get it from Japan, bro. I don't want to get it from Chinatown. I want to get it from Japan. But anyway, yes, that is not a mayo cake. Don't say that. If it's a mayo cake, I'm not going to be able to eat it. It's a Japanese fluffy pancake or something. But it's okay. Costco sells them, dude. No, you guys are ruining the mystique of Japan for me by saying we can get it in the United States. I need to go to Japan. Pinterest, by the way, I wish I had made my swing trade on Pinterest and stupid Snapchat, bro. That should have been obvious. I wish someone had recommended that and be like, hey, man, instead of looking at Snapchat, look at Pinterest. Freaking Pinterest. 40-year-old moms have way more money to spend on Pinterest than 15-year-old teenagers on Snapchat. Like it would have been so obvious to do the swing trade on pins over Snap. It would have been up 20%. Freaking Snapchat can barely hold $11. Should have done Pinterest. Teladoc is the play, dude. What's going on? Like, Teladoc? It's up 8%. Is Teladoc the new? Is it getting an AI bid for something from Tempest? This thing, Kathy got out of this thing a long time. Wow, it's up 36% year to date. It's down 35% over the past year, but maybe Tempest got people looking into Teladoc again. Do you guys remember Teladoc? That stock was at one point $293 in 2021. That one took a little bit of a beating. For someone who does the word of the day, you sure are lost on words like jiggly. Yeah, well, words are not my strong suit, as you guys can tell. Amit, what do you think about Monday? I've heard of this company, Monday.com, right? Project management software, if I'm not wrong. Year to date, it's up 11%. Past year, it's up 18%. Never looked into them. $12 billion market cap, PE of 610. So they probably just got profitable. I'll take a look. I'll put that on the list as well. I've seen their ads so many times, Monday.com, but I never looked at them as an investment. Archer, yeah, look, Archer's great, but Archer's had a run already. I mean, Archer went from 3 to 10. Archer right here at $9. I don't hate Archer though, and the wheeling premiums are great on Archer, so I kind of wouldn't mind owning it just to sell calls against it and puts against it. But it did have a pretty great run from like last July? It was November, sorry. November to now, basically 3x. If you got in at the lows. I think at one point it got in below 2 as well. So wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad at all. Peloton also had a good earnings. Yes, Peloton also had a great earnings, down about 1.4% here. We are not getting Steve today. Steve is a bit busy. We did get him in the morning, thankfully, so we got to talk to Steve in the morning. We're not going to be able to get him today on the close. I'm probably going to be ending the close a bit earlier today as well because I have to get ready for traveling this week, and I just got to get a bunch of stuff done. But it's been a pretty wild week regardless. And it has been an incredible week. Our boy Sasha, if you guys remember him, he made a video on why Palantir is the biggest bubble ever. I watched the video. I thought it was kind of, I don't know. He said a lot of their income comes from net interest. I'm like, Steve does a better bear case than Sasha on why Palantir is a bubble. So I wasn't really impressed with the video. If you guys don't know, Sasha used to be part of the Palantir community. I actually interviewed him at one point. Yeah, have you guys ever seen that? Have you guys ever seen that video? I interviewed Sasha early on in the YouTube journey. But then he sold out of it after Karp banged on the table in 2022. He got really upset at Karp for doing that. And then that was at $9. He got out of it. It really was because he banged on the table. Like I remember watching the video that day in 2022. He was like, "This is the most unprofessional CEO ever." Yada yada yada. I don't mind that he sold or anything like that. It's just he hasn't talked about it in years until today, saying that it's the biggest market ever, the biggest bubble ever. But I don't know. There you go. I think Steve's bear case was a little bit better than from what I heard from it. Okay, let me pull a couple things up right here. I want to pull a few clips I wanted to watch. So yeah, first I wanted to take a look at this. I haven't seen this yet. I'm curious what some people have to say on this one. So this is actually the Pinterest CEO explaining why their stock is getting some of this momentum. So let's watch a little bit of this and then we'll keep going from there, see if there's anything interesting when it comes to Pinterest.
So much. I'm joined now by Pinterest CEO Bill Ready. Thanks for taking the time on the heels of this better than expected report. And what's so striking to me is it wasn't just that the Q4 results were better than expected. You guided to much stronger than expected results in the first quarter and indicated you expect these trends to continue. What are the factors that you see driving your growth this year?
Well, 2024 was a really transformative year for our business, really along two dimensions. The first, us leveraging AI to make really great recommendations to our users and driving engagement with our users and shoppability for our users. But then also the advancement of our ad platform as a performance ads platform is delivering great return for advertisers. And so both those things are working really well. You saw us in Q4 hit all-time highs on users. Our engagement is at an all-time high in terms of weekly active to monthly active, as well as our largest ever revenue quarter. We had our biggest ever Cyber 5 shopping. And so those things are really gaining momentum, but that's really been the business transformation we've been driving for the last 2.5 years. And you're just seeing the momentum of that continue to build.
So you're talking a lot about revenue, but also 2024 was your first full year of profitability since 2021. My question is, how will you be able to sustain that return to profitability going forward?
Yeah, so for the last 2.5 years, we have talked about our focus on profitable growth. And I think one of the things you've seen from us is that while AI has become a core competency for us, we have been really focused on leveraging AI for high return use cases and delivering that profitable growth. So we've been delivering consistent margin expansion. And I think this is one of the things that may not be fully appreciated is that not only have we driven consistent margin expansion, we delivered over $1 billion of adjusted EBITDA. We also had 90% plus free cash flow conversion on that. So we were really generating a lot of cash and really proving a highly efficient business.
Yeah, it seems like analysts are focused on that cash flow now. Now, over the years, I've reported on how you've been making more and more of these partnerships, notably with Amazon. How important have partnerships like the Amazon one been to driving all of that growth? And do you think you're going to be making more partnerships? What role will they play going forward?
Well, when you look at what we've done around shoppability, we've had broad-based partnerships with Amazon on multiple fronts, first party, third party. And we've started to work with many more retailers. And what you're really seeing, and we've called this out consistently, that our direct response business, which is us sending traffic directly to retailers, that has been our fastest growing part of the business. At our investor day, more than 2/3 of our business. It's been our fastest growing since then, so it's gotten larger. And so if you're a user on the platform, one of the things you're seeing is that a few years ago, Pinterest was a place that you could do a lot of window shopping, but all the stores were closed. As we've opened the stores and made it so you can easily connect to those retailers, that's driving great engagement for users, but great monetization with advertisers. And if you're a user of the platform, you certainly would have found a lot of things for the holiday season on the platform. A lot of those you might have got fulfilled through Amazon, but you're seeing a broad swath of retailers engage with us, which is really fantastic for our business.
Now, the thing about Pinterest that I never liked is that, or maybe it's more about Google, is that Google should have bought Pinterest a long time ago. They were really looking into it. Pinterest kind of pitches themselves as a visual search engine. So, Google is like the biggest search engine. You would imagine there would be some synergies there, but that never ended up playing out. I felt like that could have been a phenomenal move for Google if they ended up getting that. Pinterest right here is a $27 billion company. It wouldn't have been a small acquisition, but still, it would have been nice to have Google having some of that external growth. It looks like their DAUs is what really got the street excited when it came to Pinterest. And that's why they got some momentum in terms of advertising. I'm going to pull up their actual earnings right here and see the user growth. They had, 11% year over year, monthly active users, 553 million. It's really wild, some of these tech companies, right? I mean, your ability to scale as a tech company is like legit infinite, because there's 8 billion people on the planet. You're never going to get 8 billion people using your platform unless you're Zucks. And there's just infinite room to grow, whether you're a Robinhood, an Instagram, a WhatsApp, a Pinterest, a Snapchat, a TikTok. There's just technology scale is unprecedented, which is why people pay such a premium on the multiple, because their ability to grow in a world where it's hard to grow anything is infinite. You've got to execute to be able to capture that growth. But if you can get it, I mean, these tech companies can grow for a very long time. So Pinterest, 500 million people using their product every month, especially people with purchasing power, aka older women that are like looking to buy stuff. So I've never had an issue with the Pinterest thesis. It's just they weren't able to monetize like Snapchat, but it looks like now they are able to do it. And that's why Pinterest is getting some love. GRRR, I don't know this stock at all. It's also a penny stock, so I don't want to really touch on it or give too much analysis. So I have no idea. This is a $300 million company. Don't know much about it. It could pump, it could dump, but I tend not to look too deeply into the penny stock. So for those looking at that one, I just don't know. It was up today though. It was up 2%. I think it's had a good run since 2024. Yeah, this thing was like low. I mean, this thing was at 1.6 months ago. Yeah, it was at $2. Now it's at 18. I got to 25 at one point, right? So like it's had a hell of a run, kind of similar to a lot of the other spec stocks that we had, but I just have no idea about it because it is a very, very, very small cap. Is Flickr still around? I think so. I don't know if it's actually still used, but I think the thing is still around. Thoughts on Palantir for next week and the following? I have no clue. I really don't. I was talking to a couple Palantir bulls today as well. Some pretty serious bulls. I mean, people that have a decent amount in the company and they're not selling, but they told me, they're like, dude, I don't fucking care if it goes down. They're just like, I'm in this stock and I'm in this company for much more than just seeing the price go up. And so some of the ones that we're talking to today, they kind of acknowledge that, like, yeah, look, it's like, it's up there. And like, I didn't expect this anytime soon, but I don't care if it goes down 50%. Like, I'm not selling and I'm holding on because Palantir is the real deal. So I think that's kind of how I would sum up my feeling. Like, I don't really care what happens. And if it goes down, I think everyone's ready to accept it. If it goes up, the party continues and we see it go higher, but I have no idea where the price would go over the next couple weeks. Just no idea. And there's no real analysis you can do on it either, because you can't use the metrics to analyze it has to come down, because that's failed. You can't use the catalyst to say it has to keep going up because it's priced in a lot already. So how much more can it keep going? I mean, like, really, you're just kind of like, when do the buyers get exhausted? When do the sellers start stepping in? When do the sellers get exhausted because the buyers start stepping in and buying the dip? Like, it is up to the market at this point to figure out what happens here. Robinhood earnings up or down? I mean, I think Robinhood's going to do well, but again, it's up 40% year to date going into earnings. It could take a nasty hit after earnings as well if the street gets upset. Granted, this is one of those earnings where I think they're going to crush it. Like they're just going to smash it, and I think it's going to be very hard for the street to undercount them. They did get an upgrade today by Mizuho to $65, so like I think Hood pumps after earnings, but it's already up 40%, so who knows? But if there's any stock that could pull what Palantir did in 2024, I think it's Hood that could do it in 2025. When Hood into S&P? Hopefully this year. I think it's going to happen. It might just not happen in March. But if it does happen in March, that would be a big catalyst. If it happens on the first rebalance, which tends to happen in March. What do you think about Coinbase earnings? I like Coin. I think they're going to do very well because they had a ton of trading volumes in Q4. But, you know, the time to buy Coin was when it was $30 back in February 2023. I don't know how much Coin is a buy right now, especially if Bitcoin stagnates. But it's done very well. It actually benefited from Bitcoin's run outside of the Bitcoin miners that really didn't do much. As an overall business, I think it's handicapped to crypto, and that's why it's just never been that exciting to me. But if you're DCing into Coinbase because you just believe in like Bitcoin, the thesis, crypto, the thesis, then it's a DCA, right? And you kind of just hold on to it. The premiums are also phenomenal if you're wheeling it. So there's a way to make money off of it, even if it's trading a bit sideways. It's just not that exciting to me as an overall company, but it's a great way to play crypto. Amit, are you concerned about Palantir correction? Seems to be a lot of players starting to compete with them. I don't really see the competition on Palantir, like actually doing what Palantir is doing. I don't know if the competition is that intense. I mean, look, if Palantir didn't put up the numbers that they put up in Q4, who knows where the stock would be? But they put up some really impressive numbers, and numbers that Snowflake hasn't put up, Datadog hasn't put up, Microsoft hasn't put up, Salesforce hasn't put up. None of these companies grew 36% or are guiding for 30% growth. I mean, remember, growing 30% is a magic number for a SaaS company in Wall Street. It's not easy to do. Palantir grew almost 40% at 36% for Q4. And they didn't do it with any gimmicks. They didn't do some tax benefits, some SPAC revenue. It was just pure organic growth with a very nascent sales force. So to me, I think the street's giving that a hell of a premium. And could it have a correction? Of course. But I don't know if the competition would be a reason they have a correction. Bsoft says, honest question, do you regret diversifying or do you wish you would have just kept the same strategy instead of NVIDIA, Google, Amazon, just on Hood options, Palantir stock to portfolio again this year? No, I think, well, like last year was a different situation. Last year was trying to get a certain amount of capital, and there was a number in my head, and I'd done the calculations, and that number would have been possible if Robinhood got to the level that it got to, and it did. I think this year was more so about protecting that. And even I couldn't have predicted in the beginning of 2025 that Palantir would go for a 40% run, or that Hood would go for a 40% run in the first month and a half. Like I was trying to be really humble about it and be like, okay, 2024 was good. I should not expect that in 2025. And still, we're a month and a half in. Who knows what happens? But based on the momentum we're seeing, it looks like these two companies are going to do well again. So I don't regret diversifying, because I think at the end of the day, you have to diversify just to keep the portfolio a bit more calm, especially when you're managing more money. But number two is I'm wheeling Hood pretty aggressively, dude. Like very aggressive puts on it. So as Hood goes up, even though I'm not benefiting from a spread or a call option premium outside of the calls that I already have on it, it is allowing me to rake up a ton of premiums, which is actual cash in my hands in my brokers that I can use for other stuff instead of having it be tied up inside of the position via options. So I'm actually fine with it. And it's nice to get some safety, dude. Google, Amazon, NVIDIA, these are much, much more safer companies, and just having a little bit of stability there is not the worst thing. Is it too late to DCA and start a position at Hood? I don't think so. I mean, I bought yesterday at 53. I don't think so, dude. Like, look, the market cap on Robinhood now, and then their enterprise value, market cap is 49 billion. Let's call it 50. They have 5 billion in cash. You're looking at a $45 billion market cap. Yes, 20 times price of sales is a bit expensive. However, they are going to be growing, in my opinion, upwards of 30% this year, if not 40%. If you can grow at those levels and uniquely lock in users into a relationship where you can expand the financial services that you can offer to them, credit card, potentially mortgages, banking. Robinhood has some new banking products coming out, and you can get people excited about your product, and then you capitalize on that via not only trading volumes, net interest income, but net deposits, which is the hardest thing for a fintech to actually be able to scale into. It's just highly differentiated. It definitely deserves a premium, but it also trades at 26 times or 24 times 2026 EBITDA, which is cheap. It's not expensive. And if it falls, they can buy back their stock to the tune of $1 billion. So like if you buy it here, you have to expect a DCA. Just like if you buy Palantir here, you have to expect a DCA. But is it too late? No, I don't think so. Especially with S&P inclusion and all the other stuff that we've got coming on later this year. Amit, do you sell weekly or monthly covered calls? I like doing monthlies more than weeklies. I just think I don't know. I can navigate it better. There's not really a difference premium wise. It ends up coming out to be the same. But I tend to do monthlies more than weeklies. If you have $3K to throw into a stock, would it be Palantir? Probably wouldn't be Palantir at these levels. I mean, this is pretty elevated on Palantir. I don't know, 3,000 into a stock. I don't know. What would you guys, if you guys had, let's call it 10,000. If you guys had 10,000, what stock would you put it into right now? Like, I want to say Grab, but also I think Grab's going to be a slow mover. So it's not like that 10,000 is going to move anytime quick. You know, it might be one of those things where I definitely would have said NVIDIA if it was last Monday. Because I put 62,000 instead of 10,000 into NVIDIA. June says Rocket Lab. Omer says Rocket Lab. I see Archer, NVIDIA, TSLL, MicroStrategy, NVIDIA. Well, see, TSLL, that thing's been getting hammered because Tesla's been getting hit. So this is where the volatility on the leveraged ETFs goes the other direction. AppLovin, Hood, Tesla. Actually, I don't hate Tesla as an answer. Amit, can you sell puts on Robinhood with stocks as collateral? Does it have to be cash? It has to be cash. You can sell covered calls on a stock using the shares as collateral, but you actually have to have cash to collateralize the puts because you might be assigned the puts, right? And then you need the cash to purchase the shares. Yo, how did ELF do today? ELF, wow. Got a recovery though. It was down 25. Now it's down 19. 25 to 19. Where's Fartcoin? Fartcoin was down 4% today. 42 cents. And Bitcoin's still, I think, below 97. Bitcoin is 95. The ETF inflows haven't been the best for Bitcoin either, so it's been kind of just stuck. Affirm killed it. Yeah, Affirm absolutely smashed it today. Affirm is Affirm is proving to be one of those fintechs that knows what they're doing when it comes to product and can actually execute. And so they're getting a lot of respect from me. And again, Max is just one of those founders that's really, really exciting in terms of his ability to execute as well. Here's the update from CNBC on Anduril. Let's take a look at this. So it looks like they've got the report. I don't see it anywhere else, but it does. They've got it.
Now we're going to shift from public markets to some private market news that I have to bring you in. Anduril Industries, this is the fast-growing defense tech startup founded by Palmer Luckey, is in talks for a massive funding round. The maker of AI-enabled and autonomous weapons systems has signed a term sheet to raise its Series G. That's according to sources close to the company. What could be as much as $2.5 billion that the company raises, which would double Anduril's valuation to $28 billion pre-money. Now, post-money valuation, that'll be determined by the final amount that's ultimately raised. Peter Thiel's Founders Fund is leading the round with $1 billion. That is the largest check that VC firm has ever written. Worth noting, Anduril co-founder and executive chairman Trey Stevens is also a partner there. But for Anduril...
Wow. Peter Thiel is dropping $1 billion into Anduril. Holy. That is quite incredible.
The raise comes on the heels of what is apparently a very strong 2024, in which revenue doubled to approximately $1 billion and annual contract value came in last year at about $1.5 billion. Now, investors have been bullish on Anduril for quite some time now. I'm told the round is already massively oversubscribed. the defense tech decacorn is likely to use the funds to continue to acquire startups and to invest in scaling up production at the company's recently unveiled mega factory site, Arsenal One in Ohio, among other things. But just to put all of this in context, this would be the second largest raise this year behind OpenAI.
Wow. A lot of money. A lot of money. You guys are going to hate me, but I had a chance to invest in Andro last year, and I passed. I said, nope, not doing it. Not doing it. There were two reasons I didn't do it. Number one is, oh, Steve just called. Okay, so he might be able to call into the show. So I'll call him back. The number one reason was all my money was in Hood and Palantir, and I was not selling Hood and Palantir to invest in Andro. Like I didn't have any cash. I didn't have liquid. And Hood was a 5x, 6x. Palantir's doing what Palantir's doing. So I was not going to sell those to invest in Andro. Number two, the fund I was going through, they wanted me to invest at a $20 billion valuation, which I didn't really feel like was a venture investment, in my opinion. It wasn't venture-y to me. It was, I mean, look, they're raising at 28 billion. So what? I would be up 8 billion. You know, so it's like, it didn't feel like a real, like I was getting in early. If this was like 10 billion, but like at 20 billion, I was like, all right, this is just a bit too aggressive. So yeah, didn't end up investing. I will be a public investor like you guys when it goes public, but I just didn't have the liquidity last year to do it. If I had an extra 25 grand, I probably would have done it, but I did not have it. All right, let's call Steve. Let's see if he picks up here. Steve, you're on the you're part of the market close.
Okay.
What? You just okay? That's what you say?
Yeah, okay.
I didn't say what you thought I was going to say this time. Huh?
You started to, and then you corrected yourself.
Yeah,
so.
you taught me well. Dude, Steve, you've been on the show every single day, I think, for the past week. Like you're like
yes.
you're like my Tom Lee, bro, on the show.
I guess.
You're my Dan Ives and Tom Lee plus a hint of bearishness.
I'm like Carb, but I do steak lunches.
Yo, hold on. Can I show everyone the picture? Can I show them the picture?
I mean, you can.
This fucking. This is why I eat medium well, guys. This is why this mother.
Dude, this isn't even freaking rare.
Hold on. Let me show them the picture. Let me show the picture.
That's medium.
This cow is still alive. No one can tell me. No one can tell me that cow is not still alive. I don't know how
that's
you do
medium.
That. No, that's alive. That's what it is. That's
normally I get medium rare, but I was with somebody else and we got porterhouse for two, and we went. I compromised on medium.
Why are people saying that's perfect in the chat? What?
Well, I would say it's very close to perfect. I could do it a little bit less, a little bit more red, but yeah, no, that it was excellent. Yeah, because when you eat medium, when you eat anything past medium well, you kill it. It's not even worth eating. It's not even worth putting in your body.
Are you not supposed to kill it? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
it's already dead.
I'm just. It looked like there was a ton of hemoglobin, blood, or whatever you call it, on that thing. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I mean, it was very good. It was a very good watch.
Well,
me and one of my coworkers decided to do our meeting over steaks instead of in the office, and we have to eat, right? So we did our meeting over lunch.
It wasn't Ben and Jack's though, right?
No, we went somewhere else. We went to Benjamin's.
I'd never
been there. It was I was very surprised. It was excellent. It's one of the few steakhouses I've never been to.
Yeah. Wait, are you a sushi guy, Steve, or no?
No.
Why'd you say it with such anger?
Not anger, just no.
So you'd have a good steak over sushi every day?
If I could, I would have a steak 3 meals a day for the rest of my life.
You know, there are some people that are on steak diets.
I have Jordan Peterson's on it. His daughter's on it. I've read up on it. I don't know how I feel about it, but I love red meat.
All right. Well, markets. How are you thinking?
Yeah, how you feeling about your pockets getting a little lighter over there?
Wait, hold on. You think because Palantir went from 116 to 110, our pockets got
I'm
like...
just saying, there were people buying at 115. Like, did we not think that this was going to happen at some point? I mean,
Steve,
come on.
it's a $6 correction, if you want to call it that, and you're going for the victory lap here. That is...
No, it's the beginning. This is the beginning. I can feel it. I can feel it. This is the beginning.
Yeah, this isn't the boy who cried wolf. This is better than that. This is better. Oh my god.
No, but in all seriousness, you look at the chart. I'm going to give all the credit to Dan Nathan for that video that he put out.
Oh, let me show everyone the video that you're talking about.
I didn't even listen to it. I just saw it and sent it to you.
Dude, that's how bearish you're becoming. You see a Palantir overvalued video, and you get like, you didn't even watch the video, bro. What?
No, I didn't need to watch it. I knew exactly what Nathan was going to say.
I can't believe you didn't even watch the video. You just see it say Palantir is the dumbest stock, and then you freaking...
No, but it's from Nathan and Risk Reversal Media. I mean, I listen to their podcast all the time. So.
Okay, let me share it. Let me share it so everyone sees it.
Stock that I've ever seen. Palantir, I think 3 trading days ago, gapped up 24%. It had a $236 billion market cap. We're looking at a company that maybe this year will do $4 billion in sales, right? It's an 83% gross margin company, but at 65 times sales, this is the dumbest stock that I've ever seen.
Let's just say they do that $4 billion in revenue, and I'll add on the $5 billion or so they have in cash. So I'll round the whole thing up to 10 just for, as they say, shits and giggles. But you're still talking about a company that's trading north of 22 times revenue plus balance sheet, and that just doesn't make any sense to me.
This is the dumbest stock that I've ever seen. Palantir, I think 3 trading days ago.
So you didn't even watch that. You just sent it to me.
Yes.
To send it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can't believe that from 115 to 110, that's what you wanted to brag about.
Oh, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that, of course something like this was going to happen. I mean, look,
what do you mean something like this? It's $5, Steve. Like, the stock is up $50 in the past
week. It can't go up forever.
I mean, look, yeah, of course, like it could have a pullback. I think all of us acknowledge that, but I love that you're taking a victory lap.
It cannot go up forever. And I'm debating writing like a really in-depth article about this weekend.
Oh, you're gonna write a Seeking Alpha bear article on Palantir? That's how aggressive.
But here's the thing. I can't be bearish because I'm not selling, so I can't even put a bearish freaking thing on. I gotta go neutral.
What would you buy Intel here or Palantir here?
I own Intel and I own Palantir.
If you had, would you buy Intel at 20 or Palantir at 110?
Intel at 20 all day, every day.
What about Palantir at 75? Yo, what are these sounds that are coming out of you this week, bro? There's Palantir to 100 has got some weird sounds coming out of you.
I mean, I still kind of like Intel at 20 over Palantir at 75.
Wow.
Palantir at 60.
Really? Those $15 makes the difference for you? Really?
Yeah, I mean, Intel is so undervalued here.
Where is Intel stock today? Let me see.
Intel, $20? 1980? I don't know.
1912.
Something like that.
Yeah, 1912.
It is so undervalued when you think about what they do, how much of the market they have, and the fact that x80, like, look at ARM, okay? I don't even think ARM did $4 billion in revenue this year. ARM is not a competitor. ARM's not taking over x86. We are going to have a huge upgrade cycle in the second half of this year with computers. Arguably, it's already starting now because of Windows 10 to Windows 11. And Intel is always going to be a major player in servers, laptops, and desktops. We're not going to get away from that. Them and AMD are going to dominate those sectors. And when you think about tariffs and you think about where we're going from a strategic aspect, it just makes sense that somebody's either going to acquire Intel or Intel is going to do something and figure it out, because them getting their fabs online in Ohio even Palmer Luckey said it in his interview that Intel is becoming a very big strategic partner. Their factory is going to be right down the road from them. I think that people are going to be surprised in a couple of years, and Intel could look like IBM, and everybody's like, how did we miss this? And it was a double.
Did you know that Anduril is looking like they're going to raise at $28 billion?
I just saw it come across my freaking thing.
What do you think of that?
I mean, I want in.
You know what I think of that?
I want to be an Anduril shareholder.
I think that the next 4 years are going to be really special for Anduril and Palantir. And I think that could also keep Palantir's stock elevated as well.
It could. But I mean, look, when it comes to Intel, you can't tell me that Google, it wouldn't be an incredible idea for them to acquire Intel.
No,
I mean, really think about that.
You pitched that idea a while ago. I think that's possible. I don't think it's going to happen. But
I'm not saying it's going to happen. Like a 0.00001% chance. I'm sure they're not even thinking about it. But it would be a huge strategic move for them to do that.
Yeah, Apple's down 2.4%. Weird. Apple's down 2.4.
Tim Cook didn't have his apple today.
Tim Apple did not have an apple today.
But I did.
When did you have your apple?
This morning. When I got to the office.
Do you eat an apple every morning or no?
1 or 2.
2 apples every day?
Yeah, why? They're good.
Why do you have this turn signal still going off in your car?
I'm sorry. I'm on the side of the road. Is that okay?
Yeah, but we just hear it in the background. It's like this.
Okay, I'll turn it off. Is that okay?
Yeah, turn it off. It's
Is
New
that
York.
better?
What are they going to say to you? Like, they're not going to... Dude, that congestion tax is insane.
It's a scam.
It like I read into it last night and I was reading. I was like, this is wild, bro, that they're doing.
It's a scam. I drive in to the city 4 times a week. There is no less traffic in the city because of congestion pricing. None.
Yeah, like
and here's the thing. If you want to fix congestion, all you have to do, don't allow deliveries during the day. Have all trucks that need to double park, they are only allowed to deliver from 8 p.m. at night until 6 a.m. in the morning. That way, all businesses have to take their deliveries overnight, and you don't have, because that's what kills traffic. When you get trucks double parked on a 2 or 3 lane street in the city, that's what kills it. You eliminate that, you're going to eliminate most of the traffic.
So was the goal to charge people money so that they wouldn't come into the city? That was the goal?
So the goal was, 1, to reduce traffic. 2, people didn't like, well, I mean, I think it's, I read this as part of it that, you know, people were complaining about cars in their neighborhood and the exhaust and all this other stuff. And then you had the MTA budget that this would help offset it. And then you had several bridges that don't have a toll. So if you don't come in through the Holland or the Midtown Tunnel and you come in over the 59th Street Bridge, effectively you're not paying a toll to get into the city. So here's where I am on congestion pricing. I think it was done poorly because I am a resident of New York City. I should not have to pay congestion pricing to drive in the city when I pay city tax in my paycheck.
Yeah.
I also buy stuff in the city every day and pay sales tax into the city and help the local economy. If they had done it where excluding city residents, I would have no problem with it. Or city residents get a 50% discount, I wouldn't have as much as a problem with it. But they did a blanket thing where no matter who you are, you get a congestion tax to drive under 59th Street. I mean, that makes 0 sense whatsoever, considering a lot of people pay city tax in their paycheck. So not only that, I pay property tax in the city too. So why am I paying tax to drive on roads that I already pay taxes for? Makes 0 sense.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. I can't, like, as soon as I saw that fee, I was just like, $9 to be there is kind of insane.
But I'm not seeing any difference in traffic.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's New York City.
And I drive right down Second Avenue. I mean, I drive right through the heart of it. I'm not seeing the difference.
How are you? Are you a good driver?
I mean, I would like to think so.
Like
Depends what your definition is.
like do you are you do you think other people in New York City are good drivers? Or
I think the majority of people in New York City are good drivers. You got to remember something. There's a lot of things that happen that make people do erratic things because people just walk out in front of traffic without looking, and that causes people to have to react immediately.
yeah.
So it's a hard thing to really come up with an accurate thing, but there's a lot of variables in New York City that you don't have in other places while driving.
I'm one of those
Like
people.
you have to be very offensive and reactive.
What do you think about Ackman loading up $2 billion worth of Uber?
Well, Davey Buffett must know something that I don't because I don't know what he's thinking on this.
Wait. What do you mean? Uber's not Uber trades at 22 times free cash flow. Uber's not like expensive.
Yeah, I don't see it.
You don't see what?
Uber, I don't see it.
It trades at 22 times free cash flow. What do you not see?
Okay.
It's cheap.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. If autonomous vehicles is a real thing that everybody's getting bullish on, then why are we going to need Ubers?
So Jay Cal's take is Uber will be a partner in the autonomous vehicle revolution. It'll be an enabler of it.
I mean, that's if he really thinks that his buddy Elon isn't smart enough to create his own thing and cut Uber out.
What about Waymo?
I
What if
mean-
they just work with
Why? So why would engineers at Google need Uber?
why would the
They
engineers
already
at Google-
they already own the Android system. They don't need Uber for anything.
So why do you think he loaded up 30 million shares then? Like what is
I don't know. Why does he do what he does? I don't know.
I wonder if he sold Nike or Google to get into Uber.
Maybe. I think Nike's more interesting than Uber. If the autonomous thing wasn't where it is, Uber would probably make sense. But I got to think that Uber is going to get squeezed with autonomous over the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, I don't know if Uber dies because of autonomous. The
Well,
perception.
I'm not saying dying. There's still yellow cabs in New York City. I'm not saying die, but it can't be bullish for them for Tesla to have their own fleet of cabs.
What do you think of the Tesla 360 decline?
It's going to keep going further.
So you're not buying a 360?
No,
Why?
because I can get 2 shares of Alphabet for every 1 share of freaking Tesla.
That's a good point. Oh,
I can buy 2 shares of a company that makes $100 billion a year in profit instead of Tesla.
I bought 20 shares of Google today, 183.
Good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, I set up. I told the chat I set up my solo 401k officially.
Look at you protecting yourself from yourself. I like it.
I contributed my first amount to it yesterday, and I probably have another 40 grand to go, and it's just going to
Good.
go straight to the S&P. That's it.
Even better. I like it.
Now, I am thinking if it was in Palantir instead,
Oh, don't go down this road.
it would,
Because-
it's
no.
like
Don't go down this road.
just say that's
No.
extra 40 grand a year I could put in
No,
Palantir.
don't go down that road. Don't even do it.
But I get it. I'll do.
This is
the S&P.
protection from yourself because you know what? You make money on Palantir, you make money on something else, money on something else. You think that you can't miss until you do. At least this is going to be there where you do some stupid stuff in your life. You can always fall back on your 401k with S&P.
No, that's true. That's a good point. It's a very good point. But yeah, we got the big boy retirement account set up now.
And we got SMCI on Tuesday.
So I'm not going to be available on Tuesday because I'm going to be somewhere else. But Chris and Matt are streaming that, so you should join the
Wait,
stream.
you're missing a day of streaming?
Yeah, I told you I'm going to California next week, so next week's gonna be a little busy.
Oh, you're going to be on a plane. That's right.
No, I'm gonna be on a plane Sunday night, but Tuesday I have something happening. So
Yeah, I know.
so.
You're a good kid.
But Matt and Chris are streaming it, and you definitely need to join in. And we need to see this thing pop up to like $50.
Oh, if it does anything like that, it's going to be pretty awesome.
I feel like we're all hyping it up too much, though. I feel like it's going to tank in front of us, and we're going to be.
Are we though?
We've been pretty excited about this stupid GPU
It's hitting
server.
12 times earnings, and it hasn't even reported its last 2 quarters.
I know, but
And look at how much expansion there's been with NVIDIA, and look at how much more CapEx is being spent. I mean, I get it, and if the accounting fraud is real, this is going to plummet. I mean, that's the biggest unknown right now. But if it's not, and it was just a rounding error, and they
dude, but
switch firms,
what if it plummets, dude? I'm gonna lose $5 grand.
Well, nobody told you to put it in there.
Well, you told me to put it in there.
No, I didn't. Don't do that.
You
No,
said
I didn't.
SMCI is a good play. I listened to you.
You are on the record saying that you're not going to let us be the ones to make money. You have to be in it with us, which is the worst reason to invest.
No, that's called you guys peer pressured me, and I took
Nobody peer pressured you.
100%. It was peer pressure, bro.
You have it on one of your streams that you weren't going to be left out of this. And if it goes down, you were going to blame us. It's on your stream.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna blame you if it goes down.
Okay, but nobody forced you to do this. Nobody told you to do this.
Let's just say you implicitly told me to do this.
I told you what I was doing because I think there's a really good chance of something working out here.
That's fair. That is fair.
We got some interesting earnings coming up. Cisco's coming up.
What do you? The chat's asking me to. I already know your opinion on this. They're not gonna like it, but you can give your take. What do you think about Robinhood?
I mean, I don't know why anybody uses Robinhood.
Dude, I told you guys. He's like, he doesn't get it. He doesn't like Robinhood.
No, it's not that I don't get it, and I am sure it's a much different product than it was. It's unfair for me to really get into the technicals of it because I'm sure that they've made a lot of advancements. And look, a lot of people love the platform. Use whatever platform you like.
Okay, but as a stock, why don't you like it?
I don't get. I mean, I don't.
It went from 7 to 55, by the way, in the past year.
A lot of people made a lot of money. Here's my thing with it. In the beginning, I don't know why anybody would have used Robinhood over any of the other platforms. Okay, that's one. Two, I don't know why anybody that was trading options would have used that instead of Interactive Brokers. Didn't make sense to me. Then, I mean, I don't know.
Wait, you realize the answer to your question is because it's easy to use, right? That's why people use it.
So is everything else.
Okay, that is just, you're living in your own world there. If you think everything.
You're telling me the Interactive Brokers isn't easy to use?
Dude, my uncle in India, when I was using, we couldn't figure out how to sell a put. Like it was like, what are we doing here? Like it's Schwab. The other day I tried using it. Like it's not. It's again. I think there's an age divide here because the people that I talk to can't use anything but Robinhood.
That's a problem.
No, that's not a problem. The product is so good. Like, what are you talking about? That's not a problem.
That's a problem.
That is not a problem. If the product's good, that means the product's good, and other products suck, or they're not as good. But yeah, I mean, the thing about Robinhood is that you turned down a dinner with Vlad, which means I think you have a vendetta.
Yeah, why do I care? I don't want to have dinner with him.
When we were planning dinner for me and Steve in New York, Tanner was like, well, what if Vlad comes with us? And Steve was like, no, Vlad can't come. First of all, Vlad was never coming to dinner with us. But the fact that he was so adamant that Vlad couldn't come to dinner is like, what?
Yeah, I mean, why would I want that?
He's a billionaire. You don't want to
Don't care. You think I'm impressed by that? Don't care.
I mean, it's pretty impressive, dude. $2-3 billion in the bank.
Didn't say that, but I mean, I was going there with the goal of hanging out with the three of you.
I'm just saying.
You didn't need somebody there that I've never talked to before.
I'm just saying. It's still pretty cool. Like, would Alex Chris be okay then, if not Vlad?
No, I don't care.
Okay. If you said yes to Alex Chris, I was like, all right, we got an issue.
No, there's only a handful of CEOs that I would sit down with.
Who would you? Oh, that's a good question for the chat. All right. If you had to sit down with 3 CEOs at once, who would it be?
Oh, at once? I mean, I'd rather individual.
Okay, three individual dinners with CEOs. What would it be?
Yeah, I mean, Elon's definitely one of them because he's probably the most interesting out of everybody.
Okay.
It's got to be. It's going to be 4 of them because it's hard to separate. Obviously, Zuck, because I would love to pick his brain about stuff and talk to him about UFC.
Okay, so you got Elon and Zuck. Who's the final 2?
Obviously Noto. for certain reasons, because I would like to say a lot of things to him, like, hey, you need to get this business banking going, get your wealth management division going. What are you doing? Like, what are we doing here? And then Carp.
Oh, you would have dinner with Carp, huh?
And I would buy the steak dinner since he doesn't like it.
Interesting. Would you complain about the stock the whole time?
No.
Okay, good. I'm happy.
I would. You know what I would complain about?
What?
That they don't have Jocko being the secretary on the conference calls.
Yeah, that would be an interesting conversation. I would replace Noda with Jensen for me.
Yeah, I mean, that conversation would probably get too technical.
I mean, maybe, but Jensen, dude, that would be cool. Let's talk with Jensen. I see a lot of
Jensen's story is pretty iconic. So
I see pretty much a lot of Jensen, Elon, Vlad's, Carps in the chat. In terms of Robinhood, though, in all seriousness, I do think there is a moat to the user experience being valuable. And although other platforms are available, the fact that people choose Hood, we can see it in their net deposits, is pretty incredible, in my opinion. And that matters. And I think they can pull a Palantir this year with S&P inclusion. And we could be looking at this.
I'm not seeing it, but sure. I could be wrong.
I think it's possible.
I've been wrong on it, so.
Okay, so what are you expecting for the rest of February? You think we continue to chug along or flat?
Yeah, I mean, is there really a reason to worry?
Isn't that kind of bearish, though, that there is no reason to worry?
Not really. I mean, why does something have to be bearish if there's nothing happening? I mean, the only thing that is, and you can say, is uncertainty from policies that are coming online. I mean, maybe U.S. Steel gets acquired by Japan, which, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with that. But I mean, I don't know. I think there's going to be volatility a little bit, but earnings are very good right now. And I think that they're going to really make a push for rates to come down. And when that happens, I think the market's going to be really off and running.
Do you think we get IPOs coming soon, or when do you think they start?
I would like IPOs to come soon because there's a lot of companies that should go public.
I agree.
Did you see who happened to be named to the crypto stuff today?
Brad Garlinghouse?
Brad Garlinghouse.
Where's XRP? Is that recovered yet? No?
That's down. That's at like 230. It's all good.
It's time to buy the dip.
Nah.
Dude, did you notice how the XRP wave came and went? I mean, it was like people cared about it for a day, and then people stopped caring about it. Almost like a meme coin, to be honest.
You realize how the XRP army has been adamant about this for a decade,
the
right?
XRP army can tweet XRP all they want to try to pump it. That's not going to help. Like, if Bitcoin's flat, XRP is going to take a hit. And that's what's happening. Bitcoin's trading flat. XRP
Let's see what happens over the next year.
Where do you think XRP is next year? Like $4? $4?
I think there's a realm you see double digits.
Wow, you think it's a $10 coin next year?
I think that if this becomes a real payment system, a cross-border payments, I think the utility in it is going to be worth a lot. Now, I don't know. Listen, it could be 50 cents. Who knows what this is going to become? I just think that there's so much potential in the underlying technology from this ledger. It makes it hard to put a value on it. It really depends on how much of the SWIFT banking network gets transferred onto this.
That's fair. Okay, here's a question for you. Oh, actually, we have to revisit this segment. We did it like 3 weeks ago, so we got to do it again. Crazy acquisitions. And you guys can put in the chat any acquisitions you think should happen.
Yeah, Alphabet buy Intel.
No, that was the last time. You did that last time. We got to do a new one. What's a new acquisition?
Alphabet by Intel.
Okay, obviously you didn't get the point of the segment, but okay. Let's see if anyone has it in the chat. I've been thinking a lot about what Apple can buy. I know your argument is Apple buys.
Oh, they should buy so many things.
Yeah. Warner Brothers.
Starting with Warner Brothers Discovery, ending with Manchester United. and everything in between.
Okay, here's one from the chat. Amazon buys Disney.
For what? To have a headache with parks? I mean,
dude, that would be interesting, right? Disney inside. First of all, I don't think regulators would allow that, but Amazon and Disney, huh? What about this one? Apple buys T-Mobile.
I mean, it would. So with Disney, you get a lot of TV stations, you get a lot of networks that go right on Amazon Prime. You get a ton of content. You get Marvel, you get Star Wars, Lucas. I mean, I just think the Parks division is just so, I don't know.
Isn't that their best division? That's what makes them all the money, Parks.
I have no idea. I've never actually looked into Disney because I don't think I would ever be a shareholder.
Yeah. What about Amazon buys Hims?
I mean, that could fit into their whole thing. I think it's, who knows?
That would be fun if they did that. Uber buys Rivian.
I think that's not a good idea.
I think that's not a good idea either. Apple buys T-Mobile. Do you like that at all?
No, I don't. I don't think that they would allow that to happen.
Yeah, dude, a big tech company owning one of the biggest telecommunications companies, that would be hard.
Apple buying content or Amazon buying content is the strategic move because Netflix keeps gaining subscribers. Warner Brothers Discovery is a crown jewel of content. Somebody should really take that company and put it all on their platform because then you have Spectrum and BIOS and all these companies paying you a big for the content in addition to having it up on your stuff.
What about Dell buys SMCI?
I mean, that would make sense. Them or HP buy a company like that to scale their networking. That could.
But dude, why doesn't Nvidia buy SMCI?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like SMCI is only 20 billion. Even if Nvidia pays 35 billion or whatever, like
that's quarter of profits.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would suck. I mean, but they have 50 in cash, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, they could replace it in a quarter. Like, it's worth it.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like about Apple right now, that you have this mountain of cash, you know, the mountain of free cash flow. Buy content. It's easily added into the infrastructure.
Did you see what Elon tweeted the other day? He wants to start a show on X.
Yeah, he said he's fully funded. I saw it.
He wants it to be called 69 Minutes. Elon, bro. Freaking Elon. I mean, that would be a rival to 60 Minutes, right? Freaking Elon. What do you think about Trump saying he's going to try to get the push to he's signing an executive order next week ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws back to plastic, is what he said.
Who wants to use a paper straw?
Dude, I agree 1,000%.
I mean, has anybody ever thought of this? Your paper straws come in plastic.
Yeah, agreed. It's like,
and they get all saggy. Like, who wants to use that?
No, I agree. I cannot stand paper straws. Can't stand them.
It's ridiculous.
I don't think we're saving that much more of the environment by going back to plastic straws.
Got news for everybody. With the amount of stuff China's emitting into the air, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it would be hard to imagine that. Amazon buys Shopify. That's never gonna happen, but that would be wild.
Never gonna happen.
That would be a good one.
Ever.
That would be
ever gonna happen.
Wild.
He's like never gonna happen. But I think you're gonna see consolidation, CrowdStrike by Fortinet or CrowdStrike by Cloudflare or vice versa. I mean, there's gonna be some consolidation in that sector of cybersecurity.
According to the information, Meta sent a company-wide message to staff on Friday about job cuts set to be announced on Monday.
Zuck needs to pay for his CapEx and still keep profits going.
You saw Amazon's getting rid of DEI today as well?
I mean, political climate's changed. I mean,
that is wild, right? Literally, the political climate has changed, and now all these companies are like, all right, we're done with this shit. Like, it was that quick for them to move on.
And in 4 years from now, we'll be back on the table. I mean, it's going to be, look, these CEOs are going to do whatever they have to do to get along. That's all there is to it.
Matt says, ask Steve why he's hiding from his feelings and he sends my calls direct to voicemail.
That's not true.
Steve, do you want to join us on Palantir Weekly tonight?
Absolutely not.
I think Palantir Weekly is going to be very interesting because we're going to have a conversation about this $100 price that we got. We literally thought this would be happening in 2029, bro.
I'll leave Matt to fend for himself.
Oh, he's not going to. No one disagrees with Matt. Matt's argument is the valuation's up there, and everyone agrees with him. It's just, it is what it is, right? The stock is doing its thing. No one disagrees.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I do have a lot of charts made.
Yeah.
A lot of charts.
How is the Pokemon card market going this week? Are you still actively buying?
Oh, it's scarce. It's getting scarce out there. It's hard to get product.
Yeah, I still have not bought my first.
Of course you haven't.
You got to show me, bro. You haven't shown me how to buy a box. Like I still don't.
What are you talking about? I showed you where you go, how you do it, what you do. You're not interested. It's okay.
That's true. I am. I'm not interested.
I mean, Mac's been buying.
No, you guys legit order them to your house. I see the boxes in his background.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just not as into it yet. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Are you doing anything for the weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to write 4 articles this weekend.
4 articles, dude. I don't get how you can write this much. It is insane.
Oh, it's not. It's not that hard.
4 articles is not a joke, bro. Like,
okay.
Is the stream still lagging, guys, or we're good? Or no, I closed out a bunch of the random tabs, so it should be good now. Wait, are you watching the Super Bowl?
No.
What do you mean no? You're not even gonna.
I don't. So I don't have a football team to root for.
Wait, are you a football fan?
The Jets and the Giants play in Jersey. They shouldn't be New York teams. And Buffalo might as well be Canada.
What? Okay. So you don't care about the Chiefs or the Eagles?
No, neither. I mean, I would like the Eagles to win because they're Northeast, but I probably will not be watching.
So, but you don't want to see the Chiefs pull off a three-peat? That would be greatness.
If they do, it'll be miraculous. And I mean, give them a lot of credit if they pull it off. I would like to see the Eagles win, but the Chiefs win, great.
I want to see the Chiefs go back to back to back. I want to see greatness. I want to see Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift after he wins the Super Bowl.
I don't think that's going to happen.
What if it does, though? That'd be wild, right?
Then I would say the NFL scripted.
Dude, people are already saying the NFL scripted because the Chiefs got here 3 times. But that'd be kind of wild. I do think the Taylor Swift has gone through many boyfriends. I think for her to find the one after a Super Bowl win, that would be ratings, bro. That'd be pretty wild. I don't think you care, but
no, not at all. No. But you need to really take a look at Intel again.
Dude, Intel? How is Intel good? Like, Intel's trash. Why are we talking about Intel?
Because you want to like this could be a diamond in the rough right now.
I'd rather buy Palantir than Intel, bro.
So you'd rather buy Palantir at 110 than Intel at 20?
I mean, I don't know.
All right, so let me ask you this. Is there a better chance of Intel going to 30 or Palantir going to 165?
Palantir going to 165.
Really?
Yeah. That's not even that's zero hesitation for me to say that.
And you should be buying Palantir here.
I like just. I'm not saying it's justified at 165. I'm just saying in terms of a better probability, I would bet on Palantir with momentum versus Intel that's like dead until anyone acquires it.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's a better return. I mean, technically it is a better return, 110 to 165. But the point is, if it's pure momentum,
it's the same percentage.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
50%.
Yeah, 50%. But the point is, Palantir would have a better shot, in my opinion, than Intel.
Okay.
Because
Do you think Snowflake's going to pull something out this quarter?
Yes, I do. I think they will.
So how about Alphabet acquiring Snowflake?
That's not happening. Snowflake's 60 billion. Yeah, Alphabet, what they're going to have to pay at least 85 billion. Like,
okay, they have that thing in cash.
No, of course they do, but then they can't buy back their stock.
What do you mean? They make $100 billion a year. Of course they can.
I mean, yes, they can, but it's not like. Do you think investors want to see them use their cash reserves to buy?
Oh, I'm not saying the investor will want to see that. I'm just saying something that could happen is them buy some type of company like that. I mean, you also could see somebody like a SAP or a Oracle or Workday acquire some type of software company. I think you could see consolidation in that also to advance their AI strategy.
Yeah, like some of the third-party software providers get acquired.
Yeah, MongoDB or somebody.
Yeah, guys, he doesn't know. Steve doesn't know about TMDX. I don't think he cares about them. Transmedics.
I have no idea what that is.
They're the organ transporters.
Oh, is that the thing that freaking Chris made me buy?
No.
Yeah, I think it is. That organ transplant company that like takes drones and flies them wherever or something.
TMDX is the ticker, if you remember.
Yeah, I think I own it. I think I was forced to buy it.
How are you? Chris doesn't own it. So why were you forced to buy it?
No, because I think he made me buy it.
How did he make you buy it?
For the Christmas thing on the SoFi Weekly.
Oh, you're talking about that Chris. I'm talking about our Chris. Never mind.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Where is that stuff?
Yeah, I actually think I own it.
You own $100 of it.
And no, I don't care about it.
That one's recovered kind of nicely this year. It was at 55. Now it's at 72. So not horrible. Okay, so we're ending out the stream. What movie do I watch this weekend?
It doesn't even matter because you're going to text me after 5 minutes, but I can't do it.
No, if I have a good suggestion, maybe I can do it.
So why don't you tell your listeners what you turned off?
They already know. JFK.
And
what was the other one that you made me watch?
What was it? Goodfellas? Casino?
Casino, yeah, probably. I was trying to watch Goodfellas on the plane. I got bored of that one. So I didn't watch it.
See, these are things you should not say in public.
All right, so give me a good movie. Give me a good one this weekend.
It's not even worth it.
No, just give me I'm gonna take a try and we'll see what happens. Oh, and I never tried Happy Gilmore. Never tried that one.
I don't know. I'll think about it.
What about have you seen Good Will Hunting?
Unfortunately, parts of it.
Dude, that's in my top 10.
Don't even say
Hold on. You don't like how about them apples? You don't like Good Will Hunting? Like
no.
Wait, real okay, so that's an issue. Like that's the chat's on my side on that one. That's
not as much as an issue of you not seeing The Godfather or Goodfellas or anything.
No, but Good Will Hunting is a phenomenal movie. Like Matt Damon, like it's a good movie, bro.
Okay.
It's a great film. Do you not like Boston? Is that why?
No, the town was great.
What do you Robin Williams? Like that's weird that you don't like that.
Okay.
One. That's weird.
Overrated.
Yeah, but you have good movie taste. So for you to say that one's overrated makes me question your movie taste.
Very overrated.
But why is it overrated?
It's overrated.
But why?
Just is.
See, this is when you get ideological. You don't have a justification for it. Like the ending of that movie, dude. It's like that. I've seen that movie like 3 or 4 times. I really do enjoy that movie. Yeah, Robin Williams as well is in the movie.
You should watch 13 Hours. How about that?
What's 13 Hours? Let me see. 13
The Benghazi story.
Oh, I've heard of this. I've never seen it, but I've heard of this.
It's incredible.
All right, I'll put this on the list this weekend.
You're not going to get through 5 minutes of it.
We'll see. It's an action film. Maybe it's more exciting. You know, we'll get into it. All right, I think that's it, Steve. Hope you had a good week. It's been a fun week for Palantir investors, which you are at the end of the day. You know.
Yeah, it's been a great week for Palantir investors.
It's been a great week, and
I just hope it doesn't crash and burn from here. That's all.
Well, if it does, that's a buying opportunity. If it doesn't, it is what it is.
I just don't want to see people lose money. That's all.
Yes. All right. That, and you've got some checks you want to write that are a little less expensive. I get it. That's important. But
not as important as people not losing money.
Yeah, I know that's fair. Again, it just comes down to, are the big guys buying it or are little guys buying it?
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to know. But I do think that you're going to see a lot of money moving from the sidelines, just in the overall market, because why would you stay in cash at this point?
Yeah, and one thing that's true is like after Palantir had its run, we sold off to $63 because I think buyers got exhausted, right? Like, so it could happen again where eventually buyers just like get exhausted and then you might see a sell-off. The question is just where's the bottom?
It got exhausted today. It was staying up while the market was going down, and it topped out at 116 or so. I mean, it got exhausted today. That may have been the top.
I mean, we'll find out. We're
going to find out next week.
Yeah, but I think the run from 83 is just, I mean, pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Good stuff, Steve. I will talk to you later. I mean, I'll talk to you this weekend, but I'll be in California next week, so I'll talk to you later.
Have fun.
Later. Bye, Steve. All right. That is it for today. We are done with the close. I didn't even think Steve would call today, but he did. Hold on, guys. I got to text my girlfriend. She's being annoying right now. But yeah, he called, so there you go. We got some Steve for tomorrow. Yes, we're going live tomorrow, probably like 12 p.m. for Robinhood Weekly. We will be. I actually have to crunch the numbers. You just reminded me. I'm gonna have to spend like an hour tonight crunching all my numbers. I have to make my spreadsheet on Robinhood earnings, so I'm gonna spend a good hour tonight actually crunching the numbers up, and I will have my predictions for tomorrow for revenues and EPS on Robinhood. Why do you guys keep saying she's imaginary, bro? Why does this keep happening? Like, you see, I'm typing a message. I was legit sending a message. That's like, I don't know why you guys choose not to believe me. Girlfriend is ChatGPT. Oh my gosh. It's not my mom, bro. I don't text my mom back during the stream. I love my mom, but like I text her after the stream. I told you guys the other day, like when I was doing the stream, I saw her message come in and it was like, can you grab the groceries out of the car? And I was like, Grab? What does my mom know about Grab? What's happening with Grab? It's like at this point, you're just getting obsessed with something. You know, there's some messages that are very time sensitive that you like have to respond to immediately. And that's why I have to stop to respond to them. So Chris knows you call him girlfriend. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What are you doing on the 14th minute? All right, you guys are not going to believe me, but the message I responded to just now was for Valentine's Day. So that proves or at least it helps prove my case that it is indeed a girl that I was messaging just now. But legit, like no bullshit. The message that I had to respond to right now was about something on Valentine's Day. So take that as you will. Take that as you will. Amit, are you covering Rocket Lab earnings on the 27th? Probably 27th. Yeah, so I get back on 17th morning, and I get to Newark Airport at 5:52 a.m. If I can get back home for the market open, I'm going to do the market open at 8:45. I'm a little skeptical if that'll happen, but I think I can get home by time. So 17th through the rest of the month is going to be pretty much the same as this week in terms of schedules. And then actually, no, it's 18th. I'm missing Friday. Or no, I might be missing Monday. 18th, I get back at 5 a.m. And so Tuesday, hopefully we get to do the market open. But yeah, Rocket Lab's on the 27th, and then NVIDIA, I think, is on the 28th, or it's maybe on the 25th of February. It's like that last week of February. So Rocket Lab and NVIDIA are still going to be really important. It's a lady that rents his Airbnb. You guys are funny, bro. You guys are funny. All right. I think that's it. I think that is it. I had a weird dream about Amit with Amit in last night. I guess I watch him too much. You know, that's actually not that crazy because, like, again, dreams are based on our subconsciousness. I've had a dream about Carp before. I've had a dream about Vlad before, and you guys might think that is gay, but it's not, because in general, if you are thinking about someone or something because you're studying their company, so you're watching all their interviews, it's in your subconscious, right? And you might think about them in your dream. And you know, I'm still obsessed with both companies, but last year was a different type of obsession. So I mean, it's been less this year, but last year I definitely had moments where I was dreaming about them because I needed to be right, at least on one of them. So did you dream about us in chat? I feel like I've had a dream about, no, I told you guys, I had a dream about you guys before. It was, do you guys remember? It was this cruise I was on or something. And I was trying to do the stream and the internet connection was so bad. Maybe it wasn't a cruise. Maybe it was like a hotel. But this was like a month ago. I told you guys that I tried to do the market open, but the audio was so bad or something. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, I got to go do the market open. So that was a way that I dreamed about you guys a while ago. Can you imagine 4,000 people in his actual bedroom? Yeah, that is kind of wild, right? It is kind of wild to think about sometimes. Someone asked me the other day, they're like, hey, man, what does it feel like to have like 4,000 people staring at you? And I'm like, I don't know. At this point, it is what it is, right? It's not like the energy is that different from when there were 40 people here. Obviously, the number is bigger, but like if you're going to perform, you perform in front of however many people that are there. You know, one thing I noticed, I don't know, there's something this week. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that I still get the like butterflies before I go live, and like a little bit of anxiety and nervousness, and I still have that, but it's significantly diminished, which I think is a good thing, because it's still there in terms of like, all right, you're a little nervous before you go live, but I think it is diminished to the extent that I'm getting more confident in doing it every day. And it just naturally, right? When you do something so many times, it's like, does LeBron still get nervous when he goes out to play basketball? Like, probably there's a little bit of nerves, but at the end of the day, he's played God knows how many thousands of games. Like, at some point, it's just, you go out and you do it, right? You go play basketball. So I think from that perspective, it's becoming less, I don't know, scary or nervous to do it. But it is kind of wild every morning to just do it. And then every afternoon. And then I go downstairs and like, my parents don't know what to make with it. They're like, they have no idea. It's hard for people to understand, bro. But it is what it is. Are you comparing yourself to LeBron, the LeBron of YouTube? Absolutely not. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying in general, when you do something over and over again, right, you should feel easy. It should feel easier to do it, right? And there should be a level of butterflies just because you're excited to do it again. Like I imagine Becky and Andrew Ross Sorkin and all those guys on CNBC, they get a little bit of butterflies before they officially go live on national television. But at the end of the day, they're professionals, right? They show up every day, they get the job done, and they do it. So it's like getting to that level where you don't worry that much about messing up and you just go and do it. I once had a dream in which Amit was pronouncing words wrong. That's actually wild, bro. If you're not lying about that, that's wild. That means I have firmly entered your subconscious. Bro's on Twitter until 2 a.m. and starts streaming at 3 a.m. I am on Twitter. If you guys stalk my Twitter responses or just like tweets, I'm on Twitter way too late in the night, bro. Way too late. That post was a banger though, bro. I told you guys I had an idea for this post. See, this is the thing about being a creative. This is the thing about being a creative. When you get an idea, it's really hard to get the idea out of your head and you want to execute the idea. That doesn't mean you're going to succeed on the execution of the idea, but it damn sure means you're going to try if you think you have an idea. And I told you guys yesterday morning, I had an idea for this tweet. I didn't do it 2 days ago. I ended up doing it last night and it was a banger. It was a good tweet. It was a good tweet. I like this one. I like this one. People really thought I was sending this message, bro. No, like there was very few people that understood it was a joke. There were so many comments that are like, oh my God, why are you going back to the past? Like, move on from her, yada, yada. Like, she doesn't care about you anymore, blah, 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 blah. They're like, Amit, you're thinking too deep into this. And I'm like, bro, it's a joke. Like, I'm not, I don't think I would actually send that to someone, bro. That is crazy. That's freaking crazy to send that. And then Steve got concerned. Yeah, Steve thought I was drunk and shit. Like it was a joke. It was such an obvious joke, but there were legit people in the chat, in the comments that are just like, this is horrible. Why are you talking to this girl? Blah, blah. I'm just like, guys, you guys have to know this is just for fun. But some people thought it was real. Yeah, these comments, bro. But it was a good post. I thought it was a fun post. Mid, how do we know it was a girl? Oh my gosh. February 7th, the market's closed. Is it? Oh yeah, hold on, that's perfect. Oh, that's great. I can't do the market open anyway on February 17th. That's perfect. Oh, that's great. I love it. That's awesome. Cool. So I don't get to miss the market on Monday. Oh, that actually worked out really well. That worked out really well. Yeah, my flight is Monday night at like 9 p.m. So that's perfect. That's great. All right, cool. Cool. So no market open or close on the 17th because it's not open anyway. What do you think of Kanye's wife's dress at the Grammys? You know, that was very interesting. I don't know if you want to call it a dress. It was definitely an outfit per se. I don't know. Kanye is Kanye, bro. He's Kanye. He is, he does what he wants to do. And it is what it is. Still enjoys music. I don't listen to Kanye that much anymore, though. To be honest, I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of music that I used to listen to. I've been trying. Have you guys listened to the new Weeknd album? People really love that album. I haven't gone through it too much, and I'm a big Weeknd fan. Like I really do enjoy the Weeknd's music, but the newest album I haven't heard much of it. Certain songs I've heard have been amazing, but people are like really saying it's like the best album ever, or like one of the best albums ever. But I haven't heard it yet. Yeah, see, you guys are saying it's awesome. Yeah. Have you watched Hamilton? That's like the Broadway show, right? No, I haven't seen Hamilton on Broadway. Yeah, it's the Broadway show, right? Yeah. Oh, the 2020 movie. Well, they made a movie out of it in 2020. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. It's on Disney Plus. I should watch it, but no, I haven't seen it. I have not seen that. What music do you listen to? I listen to hip hop, bro. I don't really listen to EDM or stuff like that. I've never been a big like Skrillex fan, even though there's some Skrillex songs I like and stuff. Like house music, never been that big into. To be honest, I'm listening to a podcast way more than I'm listening to music or like a finance, piece of content. Like I'm a music fan, but I'm not a big music fan. Like I would never go to a rave or something. Those raves where people like just like jump up and down and there's a DJ and there's like a billion people. So like I hate doing that. Like I would be so like, why would you like the stuff Steve Aoki does, like this thing, bro? Like I would never, I don't know. It's just not me. Like I don't want to be one of the people in this crowd of people. Like I would just like not do that ever. I would much rather enjoy being with friends at home and just chilling in like a get together, not like doing a full on rave. But I had friends in college that like really, the Brooklyn Mirage, that's one of those places that had a bunch of raves and stuff. And that was close by to my college. Like I never went to those. Like I did not enjoy being there. So what if the DJ is Carp? Okay, maybe then I'm going. But no, in all seriousness, I've never enjoyed it too much. Do you listen to Juice WRLD? I have. I don't listen to Juice WRLD religiously. It was really sad what happened to him back in, I think 2019 he passed. But I don't listen to him too often. What platform do you suggest accredited investors use to invest in pre-IPO? Hive is my favorite, HIIVE. But there's a lot of platforms if you Google it, but Hive is one of the ones that's relatively easy to sign up to and be able to get rolled into. But the premiums are higher. Like if you want to buy OpenAI, Anduril, Databricks, like they're going to charge you a lot more than if you went through a regular SPV to get into it. Oh yeah, the Goldman Sachs CEO is a DJ. Yeah, that's true. When I found this out, dude, I was like, this is actually like legit. To be a CEO and to actually DJ is like wild, bro. Especially a CEO of Goldman freaking Sachs. Like that's wild. Look at this dude. There he is. $400 billion company. He's DJ. It's pretty cool. Dude, it proves in life you can do a lot of things. You do not have to be stuck in a box. I think that's the other important thing about trying stuff and being ambitious and like going on a journey. It's like there's always multiple ways you can get things done in life. You don't have to be restricted to doing one thing. I think it's important to be really good at one thing. Try to be really good at one thing. But definitely don't stop yourself from trying other things as well, And being a DJ is important. That's why I think there's going to be a world where I do stand-up comedy. I don't know when it's going to happen. I mean, I basically do it every morning, to be honest. It's called sit-down comedy instead. But, still, it's like, I don't, maybe one day. It would be really cool one day, bro, if I could be in front of, like, the 5,000 people that join on the close of the market open or whatever, if that could be inside of a stadium and, like, I could legit talk and do a set. Because I talk to those amount of people every single day. It's just about markets and not, comedy. But to be in front of them and walk across the stage with a mic in my hand and actually do stand-up comedy, that would be wild. Rich says you've never been funny here. Okay. You can say I haven't been funny. You can't say never. Like never is an aggressive word. Never is a little intense. I think there have been moments of humor that have definitely taken place on this show. But dude, I would love to do stand-up comedy one day. I really would. Like it would be fun. It'll be so much fun. But it's different, right? Like it's so crazy how one person can be doing stand-up comedy in front of a lot of people. Another person could be doing financial market commentary in front of a bunch of people. And it's like, you're both in front of people talking about an idea or a subject or a concept of vision. But it's like, one is like, people are listening to try to get some value in terms of analysis. And the other people are listening to just purely laugh. I love stand-up clips, bro. There are some stand-up clips that are just unbelievably hilarious. The one that's been popping up into my algorithm more often than not is Akash Singh. You guys know this guy? He's a brown comedian. Dude, he's been popping up into my feed a lot, and he's just hilarious, bro. Like, absolutely hilarious. He does a lot of crowd work, and his crowd work is just, it's good, bro. Like when you can interact with an audience, it's like, it's different. It's really good. He is funny, right? You guys think he's funny? Maybe a high school auditorium. I feel like the chat is your daily roast session. Yes, I told you guys to get through this, you have to freaking deal with the cyberbullying. That's it. You have to deal with the bullying online. But anyway, I think he's funny. I think he's really funny. It would be cool one day. The point is, being multifaceted is important. Trying out a bunch of different things are important. And it allows you to just constantly grow, you know? I think that really is the goal of 2025. And for me, I want to do it through expanding with like a lot more interviews, but we got to start, and you know, that'll start soon, but we got to see how far we can take that. Amit, does Andrew have an IPO date? Not yet. I would say probably mid 2026 at the earliest, but it could happen end of this year. Who knows? But it would be dope to see it happen. All right. I think that's it. I think we're done. Yo, Spencer, what are you saying, bro? Bro's been single so long that he put a blue ball on his shelf. That is just ridiculous. That's mean. That's mean. You guys know what that is, right? Have you guys seen this before? Hold on. This is an award that I got a while ago, back in 2015. Now you guys know I was never lying about this. It was when I was on the USA debate team. It was like an award to commemorate that in 2015. There you go, right there. And this is a globe that you put on top of it. That's what it is. You guys, we have a bunch of stuff we haven't looked at. We got the hood alcohol right there. We have the Carp signed hat right there. And we got just a bunch of random stuff. Maybe we need to update the background and just put more knickknacks there. But it is a blue ball, technically. It is a blue ball. Isn't that participation? It was kind of commemoration for getting onto the team in the first place. So yeah, there's only 9 of us in the country that got on the team. So that's why it was like commemorating it. But yeah, that's what it is. Thought it was the Palantir, dude. Low key. It actually does look like a Palantir, to be honest. All right, I think that's it. We're done. I have so much shit I still have to do this weekend that I have not finished. I've got a lot of stuff to finish. Still have Palantir Weekly tonight. So that's important. What else do we have? We have a stream tomorrow on Robinhood Weekly. And yeah, that's it. That's it for the weekend. This week still feels like a blur. It really does feel like a blur. It's been a wild week, bro. Wild week. I don't think anyone expected what we saw. I know I got a lot of messages on Twitter. I'm still responding to a lot of DMs, but it's just a bunch of people just like sharing how crazy this journey's been and how wild it's been. And it's just been crazy, dude. So crazy. But it happened. As Carp said, we're doing it. I got to clip that. I got to clip the "we're doing it" onto the soundboard. So that was a good one. That was a really good one. But it is indeed happening. Hood earnings are going to get wilder next week. Yeah, next week's going to be wild as well, dude. There's so much stuff happening. Robinhood earnings. Next week's going to be a ton. All right, so that's it for me. Again, we'll have the Bay Area meetup next week. We'll get more details on that. If anyone's near Berkeley, I'm going to be on the Berkeley campus from the 15th to the 17th. So I'm going to be coaching a couple kids that I work with at the tournament. That's like the main reason I'm going to California. And so if anyone's there, feel free to say hi. I'll be wandering around the campus. It's a beautiful campus, Berkeley. I haven't been there since 2018, so it's been like 7 years. So I'm excited to go back there. But yeah, that is pretty much it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed streams this week. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you every day. Thank you, everybody, for joining every single day. It is the blessing to be here and be a source of information for everyone, even with the cyberbullying. That's just the part of the job that's required to get to this point. And it's only going to get worse as more of you guys join, but still, it's been awesome this whole week. Obviously, Palantir crushed it. Big deal for me, for the channel. Just been, campaigning for this company for a long time. So pretty incredible. And now we keep going. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Palantir Weekly back tonight. We'll have Robinhood stream on Saturday going through our preview of earnings. And then Monday morning, we'll be back for the market open. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy the weekend. Good night.